Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. This is different for me because I'm actually the one hosting it here. It's usually not me that's doing it. But today I am here with Ted to my right, Mobile Geezer George right below me, and then to the bottom right, I have Grant in here as well. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing
good, man. Happy Friday, everyone.
Yeah, happy Friday. Just finished the cheesecake.
I was going to say thank you, Munchie, for letting me know that June 27th is a Saturday.
You know that wasn't going to slip past Munchie.
You know what? And I was, when I was doing that, I was just, brain fart. So, here we go. We have Will. Will, I knew Will wasn't going to miss it.
So Will, I guess he was willing then, huh? Oh,
yeah.
Will, how's it going?
Good. There wasn't no articles, right?
No articles. Today, like I was telling everybody else, today we're gonna just kind of have a discussion. We're gonna talk about everything that's been going on. I do want to say hi to everybody as well in the chat here. So I see Nigel is here. Good morning, good evening from the U.S. Six is in here as well. Six, what's going on? Brian too. Brian, what's going on? Y 2019. Hey Y, how you doing? And then Munchie obviously is here. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I think that's everybody in here. So let me get this out of the way.
Yeah, Will, we didn't need stories, but because we figured with you and Jerome here, we got plenty of conversation.
And that's the thing here is I see C Butler is in here as well. Hey crew,
what's going on, Serrano?
Serrano, how are you, bro?
Serrano's killing it. Would you just get 10,000?
Just hit 10,000.
Hey, congratulations! Congrats.
Serrano.
Yeah. So the big thing that I want to talk about, and I know that this is, I usually have my perspective on it, but since we have a whole crew here today, I want to talk about WWDC. This is just a screenshot of what I had before, just to kind of give you a visual kind of things. But I don't know if all of you have watched or read about WWDC, all of the new improvements that have been coming to things like iOS 14. That's actually really what I want to talk about today. But Watch OS and Mac OS and all that kind of stuff. But the one screenshot or the one thumbnail I put here was iOS 14, and I just put like Androids on the side because really, this is what iOS 14 is reminding me of. The one big thing that I have noticed with iOS 14 is the fact that a lot of it is very reminiscent of what Android is. Now that you can have the widgets on the home screen. Yeah, there's picture in picture, and then there's just a ton of things that they have added onto it. But as far as Android and iOS 14, or at least for iOS 14, how do you guys feel about the new implementation of the home screen and the widgets? Do you think it's going to be a hit? Do you think that the people who use iPhone, us as tech people, we're going to get used to it easily. But for everybody else, do you think that's going to add confusion to it at all? I just want to kind of get your thoughts and start a conversation when it comes to what's going on here.
But you were right to separate us techies from the rest of the people. For myself, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there it is. And I am loving it so far.
So you're on the beta.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I put a video out the other day, yesterday,
Great.
I guess, showing off 3 of the things, showing widgets and something else. Anyway, I'm loving it so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Easy to use?
Very easy.
What about you guys? Any of you guys put it on? I haven't put it on mine.
Yeah,
yet.
I'm on the beta.
I knew Will would jump on it.
I hate it.
You hate it?
No, you
So
do
we're
not.
on- We're on opposite
Change is
ends.
hard. Will doesn't do change, man.
Nah.
He's like on the he's not even going on the remotely on the upslope with that change curve.
But
He's
isn't
kinda
it
like
ironic, Grant,
laying
that the
flat on the
young one
ground.
hates it and the old one likes it?
So what are your
it's good, man. I like it.
so
It's
Go
it's
ahead.
gonna be confusing for like you. I think it was you who was saying like your mom.
Right.
If your mom holds the 3 dots at the bottom too long and that thing pops out and she might be a little confused. She might be, but it depends because it is iPhone, so it's not like you have a lot of options. If you hit the thing, you know what I mean. Her icons are going to be gone now.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. So I know you can hide pages, right? So you can hide complete pages. Is that easy to bring back, or can you just go to that
Yes.
app library?
Yeah, it's easy to
very
bring them
easy.
back.
I showed that in my video yesterday. I got rid of one and then I showed them how to bring it right back.
Yeah, it's
good.
easy. It's like turning off a light. Like you'll see the page gets dark and you hide it, and then if you want to bring it back, you just push it again.
Yep.
That's
It's
not-
easy, but you know what I mean. I
It's
could see
just,
people
it's
getting
just hitting a
confused, though.
checkbox to make it go off or on.
I think it's a really good implementation. The one thing I noticed that it didn't have is you still, even in what are they calling it, the app library, right? Because they're not calling it a drawer.
Yeah, you can't organize it.
Yeah, so you can't sort it alphabetically or anything like that.
But
it's always
the
Well,
alphabetical thing is
you can't. Here, let me show you. All right.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
It's
Let me
Apple.
switch back here.
They'll tell you how your icon should be, Jerome.
All right, so there's your app library. And my first thought was I can't even make an alphabetic, but I was wrong because if you simply hit where it says app library,
it gives you a list of
it gives you an alphabetic
Oh, it
list
does.
of all your apps.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't. What you can't do is, if some people were complaining, is you can't organize how your folders are. It's
That's
kind of like
true.
how Samsung does it like when you open up a Samsung phone now, it organizes all the apps. Samsung apps are here, go in the app drawer.
Right.
They kind of did it in a way where they put them in their own folders.
Right.
I guess for now, they're not letting you name it or nothing. Like you can't edit the folder.
Yeah,
But-
they put the social together, the health and fitness
Yeah.
together, reference and reading my Bible stuff is in there, creativity
Yeah.
together, my photos are there. So, but when you make the app list, well, then of course you can get to anything, and it's all alphabetical.
That's really interesting. So, I mean, a definite improvement then, right?
Honestly,
Are there-
Absolutely.
I thought I wouldn't like it, but the way it is, like, it kind of, I don't know if it's doing this for you, George. There is like a thing where it's like suggested apps, kind of how Google does it. I think
Yeah.
when you open it up, unless you turn it off, where it shows you your most 4
Right.
used apps or whatever. But like social, right? It's got Telegram, messages, Twitter. It moves them around based on what I'm using.
Exactly.
So if I start using Facebook a lot, Facebook will go to one of the larger 3 apps, so where I can just tap it. Otherwise, it's got 4 apps that are small, and if you tap them, it opens up the whole folder. So
Right.
to me, it works fine. Like I don't even mind not being able to.
But I think because Will, you and I, have both used Android a lot and do use Android a lot, it's comfortable for us because it's much closer to Android.
So really quick, just so I can say hi to everyone in here. It looks like Gary's in here. I'm here, my people. But
Troublemakers here. Okay.
Gary is also saying widgets still a thing because I don't use them. Haven't used widgets since 2017. But
2017.
But here's the thing: I have to at least point this out on the Google Pixel. That very top thing that you get there with the date and the weather, that's pretty much a widget.
That's a widget.
But now listen, now wait. Now see, the Pixel went to a permanent widget because you can't remove it. You can't do nothing with it.
Right.
You can't. That's like, so there. As much as people complain about iPhone, Google is trying to do some of the same stuff. Google puts that search bar at the bottom. You can't do nothing.
And there's nothing you can do about that. That's actually that's a really good point there.
And I hate that search bar.
Really, yeah. You know what? I don't really use it. I'm just used to seeing it there. 6 is saying I'm running the beta on my 10, and it's my daily no complaints, which is good. Big House is in here as well. Hey everyone, what's going on, Big House? Nice to have you.
Alan, your Big House.
Yeah. Phone tech at work. Yo. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks everybody for joining in. So as far as like iOS 14, I guess the question. So I read this article on Android Police, and the article talked about how Will's already laughing. The article was saying Apple doing this is the best thing that could ever happen for Google, for Android. And he was saying that was the best thing that could ever happen for Android because he's saying that will get people to understand how this stuff works and move them over to Android. So that's an interesting take. But then someone in my chat, and it might have even been Will or someone else, was like, "Oh wait, this would actually just get people to move over from Android to iOS." That's what
I was thinking. It also makes it easier for people to move from Android to Apple because they're more.
That's the only thing it's gonna do. That's like I never heard nothing more crazy.
I think it could go either way.
Nah, George. The thing that everybody hates about iPhone is that you can't put widgets. You can't customize your home screen. Right. You can't pick your default browser or email. Apple added not all of it, and I mean it's still locked down or whatever because it's Apple.
I think after September, I'll probably go to iPhones. Like
they're like adding stuff that Android people complained about. So it's like at this point, why would you be like, I want an Android phone when you can get an iPhone and still get all your Google apps, iMessage, FaceTime, Duo, all all of it.
But it does mean
you get longer updates.
They're closer together, so it makes it easier, I would think, for anybody.
Yeah, but George, the people who go to Android are like, they want to be able to put widgets. They want to be able to customize. Like that used to be my argument. Like I hate iPhone because you can't do this or you can't do that. You can't hide your apps. Now I got one page with the apps that I use, and that's it. All my other apps are hidden. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I can't see how they wrote that article and thought that made sense. Like that was a dumb thing. That was a dumb thing to say.
I tend to agree with them because I think it makes it easier for it to go either way.
I'm in West Camp.
If you had to pick a side, do you think more people? Do you think iOS 14 would cause more people to move to iOS, or do you think it would cause more people to move to Android? I mean, maybe
I agree with Will. Ultimately, it'll cause more people to move to iOS, I think.
Yeah,
because Apple has good retention rates.
Right.
Like if you're an Android, like by nature, you can like switch to all those different Android smartphones. But if you're on iPhones, you're on iPhones.
Yeah. What about you, Grant? I haven't heard from you.
I'm letting everyone have their say.
go for it, Grant.
No, I think it depends on why you want to switch, right? I don't think it's always on feature, right? I think a lot of people are on iPhone because they like iPhone. A lot of their friends have iPhone. They want to fit in. Or their family all uses iMessage like mine. I got to have an iPhone. I'm not going to make everyone switch because of that. Sure. Or I'm on Android because I'm the anti-Apple person. or cost is a major factor. I can get a cheaper Android phone traditionally than an iPhone. It's not so much on these types of features like, oh, I really wish it had widgets. That's what's really making me not go over there.
Yeah,
And
I
I don't know.
think
I
we're
just see
being
widgets being just like Android. When Android rolled out widgets, everyone's like, oh, going widget crazy. You got widgets everywhere.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I was like, nah, just wipe them all out, make it clean. Just keep my little clock, my weather icon, search bar. I'm good. So,
No, I get that point. I guess for me though, whenever I get iOS 14 or if I download that beta, the first thing I'm going to do though is put that weather widget right on top. For Will or for George, have you done that? Have you put a widget on the top?
No, not yet. I showed them how it works and how you can put it there, but I removed it right away. So I haven't changed my screen at all.
Wow.
I mean, it's
And
good. for
one-
like, lots of
one-
information.
One thing I did notice, the three of us use the Apple Watch every day, and we look at our fitness app. Well, the fitness app shows up a little bit different now. You've got more screens and more different ways to see
you
your
switched it
fitness.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I put
Like
two
when
widgets.
you
I got
first
two
bring-
widgets on my
When you
screen.
first bring up the fitness app now, this is what you see. But
oh, interesting.
if I hit this, then you see what we used to see. So there's
Yeah.
more options there. Yeah.
Ted, do you own an iPhone, Ted? I don't know if you do or you don't.
That's his camera.
Webcam now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I forgot.
I mean, like
But
to me,
yeah, but come September when I have iOS 14, yeah, that first widget I'm doing is dark sky, and that'll probably be the only widget.
Okay.
Did you guys see that double tap on the iPhone for iOS 14?
I tried it.
I didn't try it yet. Did
It's
you
too
like it?
sensitive, though. It's too sensitive.
Oh, it is.
It works.
Okay.
It works, but if you put your phone down, it takes like 10 screenshots.
Oh,
It's too
really?
sensitive, so I turned it
Okay.
off. They're gonna have to tweak it.
Yeah, I'll try it tomorrow. But if that's true, I'll be taking it right
Yeah,
off.
they're gonna have to tweak it, or it's gonna be a it's gonna be a problem.
Okay,
So I turned it off, but it is nice because it works, and you can set like a Siri shortcut to be one of the taps, so you can double tap and have it make a shortcut and do basically whatever you want.
I
Like a
wonder
routine.
if you can
That's
change
cool.
that sensitivity. I wonder.
Not right now, you can't. I think they're gonna have to fix it.
Yeah, they're gonna
It's
have
way
to.
too
do that.
sensitive.
Is that
It sounds like the
feature?
squeeze conversation.
What's that?
It's like the squeeze conversation.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
And
exactly.
Google got the
But I don't.
squeeze, but
I
it's
never
something
use
everyone's
that squeeze feature.
playing
at
with.
I
all.
never used it either.
Yeah, it's not something. Do you use it, Grant?
No, I don't use it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty simple. I tried, and it wasn't like I was getting false squeezes, but it just, I don't know. I don't know.
You'll squeeze
I'm
your
set in
phone.
my ways of how I use the phone, so I'm just muscle
And I think
memory.
we're
now.
all like that. I mean, I've had the Moto G stylus for what 3 months now. I've taken the stylus out twice, maybe. I'm set in my ways.
Does anybody here talk to Google?
no,
Yeah,
I don't.
talk to Google all the time.
I never picked up my phone and was like, "Hey Google, hey Siri." I don't.
I use the Google Hub to turn lights off and on in the
Yeah, when I'm
apartment.
home, I use the those, but I don't talk to my phone. I was just wondering.
I
Yeah.
talk to it when I'm in a hurry to text, or when I'm in the car and somebody texts me. I talk to it then.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so let me segue here, and I want to completely segue into something else because I was actually just going to bring this up later, but I see a message here for Grant that says, "Grant, that phone you unboxed today is a beast. Can't wait to see more coverage." And so I want to share this post that I saw on Grant's already showing it off right there.
There you go, Grant.
But
That is beautiful.
Grant has the Xperia 1 Mark II, which is like, oh my God, that's that $1,200 phone. And
Well, he had said he couldn't wait to get his hands on it.
It's no $1,600 phone, Jerome. So you
$1,600.
might still have me beat. No, it's
Oh,
not.
That's
someone
right. You're the
who's-
one who wants the 1,600.
Who's
I
got
have
that
a-
thing coming in?
I haven't bought it yet, but so did it come with the free pair of earbuds? I forget what they're
No,
called.
this is the international one because the US one is only coming in black.
and you wanted the
So
white
I didn't
one.
want black. So
What,
there's
doesn't black
white,
matter?
and purple.
Ooh.
White and purple are only
Goodness
outside the
George.
US. So.
Oh wait, so does that support 5G then? Since you have the international one, or no?
Yeah, it's supposed to. Like I've got it less than a day ago, and so I've only been out with it a little bit. And I did see the 5G moniker come up in the status bar.
Yeah, that's
But
what happens.
5G is
yeah.
only I'm on T-Mobile. T-Mobile is only starting to roll out 5G here, or their
Okay.
pseudo 5G. So parts of my area, like if I can walk from like one end of the block to another block, and I get 5G to going to no 5G. So they just literally started rolling. We had nothing.
See, here in
nothing in
Chattanooga
the Bay
and
Area.
in Miami, I had 5G all over the place with T-Mobile. And of course,
Yeah, which
it's
is crazy
because
'cause
5G.
this is the San Francisco Bay Area, and we had zero 5G for the longest
I
time.
would think
from
that you
T-Mobile.
would have gotten it first. Usually you do, you know.
Well, so can I get your first impressions on it, Grant? How is it? How are you liking it so far?
I mean, in a limited time, it's been the Sony phone, right? So it's like the Xperia 1. Like I was saying, they made the improvements where they had to. So they gave you a bigger battery. They focused on improving the cameras, right? It's still triple 12 megapixel camera array, but they different sensors, supposedly. They've gone to Zeiss optics. And they've got whole new image processing on this, right? Their whole Sony Alpha team has been working to bring you more of a Sony camera experience. So it's more of an Alpha camera experience, right? They have that Pro app.
Yeah,
That looks like it'll look like a Sony camera interface on their camera.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so they improved the battery capacity. They gave you the headphone jack. They improved the cameras. They gave you wireless charging, IP68 water resistance now. So they gave you all the quote unquote flagship stuff in the
right.
Mark II.
Mhm.
So it's just a matter of, does that add up to a
How is that
$1,200
4K
experience?
screen though?
Right.
Tell me how good that 4K screen is though. Does it? You go and
Oh,
see
yeah,
It's the same
that's
4K
right.
screen that they had on their previous phones, right? They've had 4K displays since their old X premium stuff, right?
Yeah,
And this is, I thought it's the same panel on the XE1, because XE1 also had a 21 by 9 4K 6.5-inch display, and it looks really good.
Serrano says it's a sexy piece of metal.
Yeah, there you go.
glass.
yeah.
Glass.
I see where did that now I lost it. I see Ellie is in here as well. Hey
Yes, she
Ellie, how's
is.
it going? What's going on? Thank you for joining the stream. Grant, have you had a chance then to really mess with the camera yet or not yet? Have you
I
not?
took the cameras for a quick spin, so like I literally got it yesterday, and so right after I was done from work, unboxed it, did that video, went outside and just shot a bunch of photos and a little bit of video.
Yeah.
Just to see. I was comparing the stock camera app and the Pro camera app, and because the Pro camera app has auto mode, right, just like their cameras do.
Sure.
Right.
And so I was trying to see, does the auto processing in their Pro app differ from the regular app?
Mhm.
And the answer is a little bit, right? And so, and it depends on kind of the composition and the lighting in the scene. But sometimes there's no difference. Sometimes there's minor difference. But the photos are looking promising. Like I think with the Xperia 1, when it first came out, before some updates were happened, you're kind of disappointed out of the gate. I think the most things I'm disappointed out of is I think the image quality looks nice. I think I'm going to put it up against the Pixel and really see.
Yeah.
But the minimum focusing distance isn't that great. So like if you like a lot of macro photography,
Mhm.
Even with the ultra wide.
kind of get super close. And there's no dedicated macro mode or macro camera on this thing. And even if you went and switched into 2-time telephoto to try to take a more macro type shot where you can, just to get a bit closer, it doesn't focus.
But if you
It's
go
not
back
really for macro
a
things.
few months to where they were all coming out with macro modes on their cameras, the vast majority of YouTubers seem to think it was useless.
I'm sure if you went to manual mode, you could do it. You
Right.
could dial it in to the point where you could
But,
get closer
how
and you
about
could
the
get
ultra
the
wide? Does
proper
that have
focus.
the ultra wide? Does that have a good minimal photo MFD or no?
I haven't tried ultra wide as
'Cause I
far
know
as
on the
trying to
iPhone
use it for
website,
macro. Yeah, some like
Because-
Huawei does that with their ultra wides because they're more like normal camera sensors. But I haven't tried it with this one.
'Cause iPhone
I'm
11
doubtful because these are all 12 megapixel sensors, right? So
Okay.
I don't think they're going to grab a lot of detail. It's mostly, mid megapixel sensors. They'll have the larger pixels, right? So you get better light by default. You don't have to do a crazy processing to do it. But I'm saying I think the photos look pretty good.
Okay, good.
Do they? Is it like wow, like amazing, like blow you away? No, but it does look like it looks like Sony, right? If you look at it, if you had some previous Sony phones, it's
Right.
got a bit of that Sony processing, but it's pretty sharp. It's not like it's got crazy HDR. So there's no HDR mode in the stock camera.
Oh, there is none? Okay.
And so it won't go crazy though. So some people like that, right? Some people will like without the heavy-handed
Right.
HDR processing, right? And other people will be like, nah, that's not Instagram ready, right? So it just
Yeah.
depends on what you want your camera for.
Yeah.
That's good though. If I had to ask you real quick, if you could just give me a quick answer, do you think that camera is better than you know where I'm going with this? Do you think that camera is going to be any better than that Huawei P40 Pro Plus, or do you think the
No,
P40 Pro
I
Plus
don't
is
see
still
it.
a better camera?
Well, I think the Pro Plus is going to be more versatile, right?
Okay.
Plus, the Huawei has been the only one for the last, year and a half that a lot of people think is better than Pixel. So
I really have to.
Yeah, because Huawei will still have that crazy HDR processing if you want it. They've got all the modes, all the cameras, so it's super versatile.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on here. I do want to say I'm just trying to make sure I say hi to everyone that's in here. RP3 Reviews, what's up, fellas? Grant S.
Hey, RP3.
You got that, Sony.
Hey, Rob.
What's up, Rob?
Welcome to the stream.
Grant, I need to tell you, you messed with the old musician's mind when you said, I haven't tried the ultra wide. My mind went, I haven't tried the ultra wide. But that's me,
All right, guys. So let's move on to our favorite topic, or at least my favorite topic, and probably Will's and Ted will probably sigh and just be like, why do you guys always talk about this? But I want to talk about the Pixel 4a.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this Pixel 4a because
We have
unicorn.
to talk about our unicorn. That's true.
it is the unicorn phone. If you guys saw today, this phone actually got through FCC.
Yes, it
So
did.
it is at least moving in a step forward. One of the big things that I got excited about this phone for is not only because of the price, but the fact that that price dropped, the fact that the internal storage got improved. But at the same time, there is competition, right? Like the only competition right now at this price, if you want to call it competition, is the iPhone SE. $400, but that comes with 64 gigs of storage. But we'll talk about that in a bit, because really the only other competition that I see when it comes to Android is, well, it's no longer the OnePlus Z. Apparently,
No,
it's
now it's the Nord.
Nord, right? Yeah. Nord is the new name. It's not the Z. It's not the 8 Lite. But I also have like a quick specs thing that I have here.
And I already have a conundrum with this stuff, and you're making it worse.
I know, and this is why I want to have the conversation. so if we're talking about the Nord and the Pixel 4a, and I'm just putting this out here so we can start the conversation, right? So let's assume both of these phones price at $350, which would be amazing either way, right? Either way,
I should add, remember that when they posted that French company that came up with that on their website, they said the price was higher than 400.
Yeah. And so, well, that's the thing. I mean, everything right now is speculation and we don't know for sure, but let's say for simplicity's sake, let's say this is a $350 phone. Okay. The Nord is going to have a faster chipset, right? At 765. They're going to have the same internal storage. I have seen reports where they're saying the Nord might have up to 12 gigs of RAM versus 6 gigs on the Pixel 4a. But when it comes to camera, I think we all know who the winner will probably be here, which is most likely the Pixel 4a. Now, that question kind of comes into fruition of like whether or not I guess your priority is where it comes down to as far as the camera. Because is the camera more important, or is the processing power more important, or is this maybe even a non-factor?
But as you go down that list, the displays on the OnePlus 8, a lot of people praise, so they could beat them on display.
Well, and that's the thing. So the rumor for the Nord is this is going to have a 90 hertz refresh rate.
Exactly.
So it's already going to, I guess, improve it in that regard. Build quality, I think the OnePlus would probably take it as well. I don't know. I have never owned a 3A, but I've heard mixed reviews on the build quality where it's like, it's okay, but it's not the best. And I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I've always loved mine. I still love mine.
Oh, there you go. Yesterday. And then as far as battery, I have no idea. I have no idea if those are going to be similar in terms of battery between both of those. I'm assuming they're both going to be, pretty good for
but keeping in mind the 3A's battery was better than the 3's battery.
Well, there you go. So if you had to pick one, if you had, and I guess I'm just asking you guys in your personal experience, or if somebody asked you, hey, I need to spend $400 on a phone, is there one of the two here that you would prefer or that you would recommend over another? Especially as all of us being tech enthusiasts or even or influencers, right? Like, where would you help direct somebody if they were trying to find a phone for $400 here that wanted an Android phone?
Okay, go for it, guys.
I think it depends on what you're looking for.
If they game, I'd probably direct them to the OnePlus Nord. If they like taking pictures more, I'll probably direct them to the Pixel 4a.
Exactly.
You don't think that chipset is gonna kind of get long in the tooth after a couple years? Imagine if they said that they wanted to keep that phone for 3 years.
Well,
nah.
Is that a different story then? Or
No.
But if they like camera that much, the camera's gonna still be good.
You could keep the OnePlus for 3 years.
You
I
can
still
keep
got
the-
my
He
3T.
means the Pixel.
Yeah, I know. You meant the Pixel. I'm thinking the camera's still gonna be good after
I
3
think
years.
it'll be fine in 3 years.
I still have an I still have an Axon 820, the 820 processor that's still doing great.
Exactly.
Don't you get 3 years of updates? 2 major OS updates and 3 years of
He
monthly
did-
updates,
he-
and after that, it'll still probably run. So
Yeah.
Jerome, you mean the chip is going to be slow, right? Jerome
That's-
hates lag.
that's kind of what I was talking about. Do you think that even with the new with a new version of Android, do you think that 730 will hold up? I guess that's a question to ask about George's Pixel 3a as well. Do you think that I keep forgetting what chipset is in that Pixel 3a, but will that last in
It's
for the
been
next 3
fine.
years?
I've had it over a year. I've never noticed a difference yet.
That's good.
and I think it depends on what you're going to do with your phone. Like
Yeah,
I think if you're
exactly.
got 300
I
bucks in your
haven't
pocket and
used it
you're
as
looking for an
much
Android
as-
phone, I think I'll temper your expectations.
Last 4 or 5 months because I've had 4 other phones, but I haven't seen any.
You can see lag.
Now, if you ask that question, I would have said the same thing that Grant and Ted said about, okay, do you like pictures more? But if you ask me for myself now, and you're the one who originally caused me to have this confusion, Jerome, but right this second, I would take the Nord because I know the 5's coming out pretty, not too long. So I think right this second to choose between the two, I take the Nord.
Yeah, but George, they only got $400. They're not looking for another phone, so you just got to do it. If you just wanted a phone today between those two phones, don't put the Pixel.
No, I specifically said if I were choosing for myself between the two.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, for somebody else, I'd say the same thing, Ted.
Okay, so this brings up a good question then. So if you guys are saying that, George's Pixel 3a will probably be fine 3 years from now, what is the point? What is the point of getting a Pixel 4a then? Shouldn't we just tell someone to get a Pixel 3a instead? Because aren't the
there is no point.
That wasn't the option.
No way.
The option
I know
was
that wasn't the
OnePlus
option.
Z or Pixel 4a.
Is the Nord going to come to the US?
Yeah.
Yes, it's supposed to go India and Europe first, but then it's supposed to come to the U.S.
So
No.
they're really marketing the hell out of this phone right now, that Nord.
Yes, they are.
All over Instagram, they made a
All over Twitter
Instagram
too.
page, and then somebody in chat told me today that there's a docu-series coming out for the Nord.
Yes, there is. Yeah. Well, it's kind of for the Nord, but it also tells the story of OnePlus, I gather.
Right. No, I figure it was going to have like that kind of like heartfelt kind of deal with it, but I think we all know this is a marketing thing that's happening right now.
Yeah,
It's to promote the
absolutely. Yeah,
Nord.
they're doing it every day. If you follow that OnePlus thing,
This is
Yeah,
damage
yeah.
control.
Is
General
this
marketing, that's
somebody
damage
say-
control.
somebody speculated that they're doing the whole OnePlus thing from the beginning.
Yeah,
with this
aren't
series.
they trying to make this like its own thing, like separate it from
Exactly.
Yeah.
OnePlus?
Just like they started in the first place, which I think is kind of cool.
Maybe.
I think they're separating it.
Yeah.
That's why that guy's talking about new beginnings and all. I think they're
With like Xiaomi and Realme, that kind of thing. I think.
That's an interesting take, but I want to go back to this original question. Why would I tell somebody to wait for a Pixel 4a? I know I'm bringing this up again, but why would I tell someone to wait for a Pixel 4a if it's going to be that comparable to a Pixel 3a? Shouldn't I?
because you're not their friend for real.
I mean,
I would tell them to wait for a 4A simply because let's see how much better the camera is than a 3A. If it's not much better, I tell them to get a 3A. But if it's a real noticeable difference, then I'd say it was worth waiting for the 4A.
Also, the 6 gigabytes of RAM.
I
That's
guess
true.
also the double amount of storage on there too.
Yeah.
That's true.
But if
Although you could buy a 128 gigabyte through
But
Pixel.
Jerome is determined to be devil's advocate big time here.
no, I you know what? I have kind of just like thought about these questions because I don't know what the big difference between the 3A and the 4A is really going to be.
That's why I'm saying you got to wait to see with the cameras. I
Well,
think.
you got to see how the phone looks. It might actually look good.
Yeah, but
does look
Jerome,
good.
you didn't have a 3 whatever. You didn't have a 3A, but you had a 3XL and a 4, and I think we talked about it before. There wasn't that big of a difference.
There wasn't
It's
that
just
we
like
talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
I mean, we can
I-
have
I
this
actually-
discussion about this phone when I can buy
Yeah.
last year's phone?
Good
Well,
point,
so,
Grant.
so for me, I feel like, and I brought this up before. If you think about like the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 3, right? For me, when Night Sight became a thing, I thought that was a game changer. I felt that was an appropriate upgrade because of the camera there.
Everybody thought so.
If I'm not seeing much of a difference between a Pixel 3a and a Pixel 4a, especially, well, unless the processor is going to be that much better, but I really don't know if it is. I think that's the only thing that I question, because I just don't know
Right
if
about the RAM too. It might run better.
yeah, that's also very true. Well, okay, so we have all that brought up, but let me ask you then, if it came down to not just the Nord, not just the Pixel 4a, but if we added the iPhone SE in here, right? Is there
Jerome's killing it with the,
no? And
the
you know what?
slides. No, I'm saying with the slides and the
They're just-
production you
Well,
got.
he's become a pro because he does it every day.
It's just they're just my thumbnails from previous streams, so it's no big deal. But I want to talk about that because this is a new segment. This is not a new segment, but this is a market that everyone is trying to take over at this point.
Exactly. Yeah.
$350, $400, maybe $450 tops.
And you got to throw in Samsung with their whole A line.
So, and I was actually going to ask about that, because is the A line even worth it? Is it worth it at this point?
I think the high end A line is. I think the lower numbers are not worth it. But I think the A71, A7, I think those are worth it. Although I haven't
But
had
wait, we don't got Serrano's not on, but Serrano always does like budget phones. To me, the problem is I don't never buy these phones, so I don't really know. So George or Grant or Serrano's in the chat.
Yeah.
What's the big difference between a $350 Android phone versus one of the ones that's like $250 or $200?
In my experience, the $300 to $400 phones always, so far as I can tell, they always have a little bit better processing, and usually the cameras are better. What do you say, Grant?
I think it depends on where you're buying, because now with Redmi, they got the $200 or less phone,
Okay.
right? The Redmi line with the Note line, they're 8, 9, 10. They came out with like 50 phones in the last year on
Right.
Redmi.
Yeah,
And they're all
Samsung
around
with the-
200 or less, maybe 220,
Right.
right? And I've got the Note 8 Pro, and that has a MediaTek, but it has a newer MediaTek in it. It's got the was it G95T or whatever it is, right?
I've stayed away from anything that has MediaTek so far.
It runs well, and
Okay.
it took better pictures than the Galaxy A51. It's a better phone in every way than the Galaxy A51 to me. Maybe it's up for display, but I mean, point being, if you're willing to go and run off like razor thin margins like Xiaomi and Redmi,
Right. Exactly.
you can. It's not a $200 phone. I mean, it's more like a $300-$400 phone that are selling at $20. But that's the gap right now. It's just who's going to go lowest, because you can make a phone for that cheap and be just as good.
I keep meaning to buy a Redmi phone, but other phones take priority, and I never get around to it. So I'm glad to have you on to talk about it.
Yeah, the lowest level A-line phone I would go is a 7 series. So now the 71. Like
Yeah,
the
I agree
A7,
with
like 4 years ago, was super good. It competed really well with the S10, or
Right.
it was the S7 at the time, right? But so the lowest level I'd go is a 7 series, because they perform pretty well. The 5 and down kind of lag a bit, so you'll notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember Serrano and a few other people had the really low ones, the 10 and the 20. I didn't think much of those at all.
But that's the thing, because the A71 right now is selling, the US version of the A71 with the Snapdragon 765. That's selling for $600 right now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty high on that end. I see Grant shaking his head. Is it not
just buy the one you
$600?
got, man.
What's that?
Just buy the one you got.
Yeah, just buy. But that's the thing. It's a different chipset in there. But yeah, I agree.
We'll need it.
I wouldn't spend $600, and I was actually talking
Not
about that
for
today.
double the cost. No.
Right, and if you're
I'm
spending
thinking
$600 on a
500
phone,
should be the top. for
yeah,
that.
there's so many other options at that point.
Yeah.
So
As far as what you brought up, I think yes, for the average consumer, anybody who was asking us what phone, well, you have to put the iPhone SE in there. But for me, I have an iPhone 11. It's not an option.
I'm just curious then for the iPhone SE, like who would you? Oh, I see. Will with the $4.99 super chat. Will, thank you, man. Super chat is wide open. Will, thank you so much for the support, man. No, I do want to bring up the point of the iPhone SE. Is there any reason then that would you recommend that phone over the 4A or the Nord at this point, or is there no reason for that?
The problem with the
For an
iPhone,
iPhone person, I would.
Well, let's
literally
not even
apples
talk
to
about the
oranges, man.
iPhone person. Let's just talk about somebody who needs a good phone. Is that a phone that's on the table for contention compared to these other ones?
If they can handle the small display, of course.
considering the other ones
And
haven't
OS is not a,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the best out of the bunch considering the other two haven't been released.
Yeah, am I wrong, or I'm thinking almost automatically the Nord and the 4A are going to take better pictures than the SE? Am I wrong because I don't have the SE?
You think the Nord is going to take better pictures? I think.
I don't think the Nord is.
I'm guessing it
the
will.
Nord is gonna.
Wow,
I
that
don't
is a
think so.
big
I'm
claim there.
guessing. I don't know. You know.
Nah, OnePlus is gonna cut all kind of corners with that one. Nah, I can't see that one. I can't see that taking better pictures than the iPhone. The 4A, yeah, probably because of Google's processing, but.
Well, I was of course, because I can't help myself, I made just like this little quick thing here for the iPhone SE. But here are things to consider, right? So the iPhone SE is going to have the fastest chipset. That is something to remind people, especially when it comes to support. 5 years is usually what they claim there. It has a pretty good camera. I mean, I called it excellent, but it's up there. In my testing, I felt like it was a really, really good camera for what it is at the price. The only cons here is, it's obviously an outdated display. You have the Touch ID on the front, so that really messes with that display in general. The battery is nothing to write home about. And then it's still at the higher end of the price point. You're going to get $400 is going to get you 64 gigs of internal storage, and then $450 for 128 gigs. So I feel like I could recommend it to a certain amount of people. I don't know. But you know what? Ted makes a good point too. The Pixel 4a is not out. So what competition is out there? There's nothing else to compare it to at this point.
And then it depends, Jerome, because the video quality on the iPhone is going to beat all of those.
I totally forgot about that.
It depends what you're doing.
And that Touch ID is a
I mean?
selling point, not a negative to
Yeah,
a lot of people.
especially now with the Max.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got my old iPhone 8 Plus unboxing video up. That thing is still like my number 1 or 2 watched video on my channel.
Really?
And it's still pulling in views. And then and they're leaving comments, and I'm asking them, why did you buy this? They're watching, and they say they're watching my video because they just bought their own iPhone 8 Plus and they're waiting for it in the mail.
That's so
And
interesting.
so I asked them, so why did you buy that over anything else? And they're like, it's usually 2 reasons. Number 1, Touch ID, and number 2, price.
That's so interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I think the 8 Plus is like, what is it? It's got to be 3 something now, right?
You can get it for $350.
Yeah.
It's even cheaper now that it's I would think the price might have gone up because it's not sold by Apple anymore directly. Right? But
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure you can find it anywhere, like Amazon Renewed, Swappa, anywhere. Right? So
That's really
I
interesting.
got my kids the 7 Plus, and that one, I guess it's gonna get iOS 14. That's so crazy.
That's
7 Plus.
But one thing you have to consider with the iPhone SE gets long-term support, like 5 years at least. You have to think about the battery. Like the battery's not
but
last 5 years. You're
just
gonna have to get
the battery though.
You're gonna have to get
Just
that.
go get a battery. What is it? $70?
Okay, so that's on top of the $450 that you paid. So
Yeah, I guess.
okay.
I mean, no, I'm saying I guess because on Android you wouldn't. On Apple you would be like, yeah, my battery's bad. On Android they don't even have that kind of a. You know what I mean? They don't have anything that's telling you your battery health is this. You just
in fact, nobody
use the
actually
phone.
services their battery anymore. Like, do you know people with iPhones who service their battery? Like, I have to tell them, okay, you can get it
Who that,
serviced.
that take them to go change the battery.
Yeah.
Some people, some
I
people do.
actually
I know people
don't
with
know
real.
anybody
I know
that
people with some old iPhones.
Oh, people even take
They have to
advantage
change
of that.
the
So, like, over
the
the
original
course-
SE is getting iOS 14.
yeah.
That's so crazy to think
the
about.
6S is getting it.
Yeah,
The 6S.
that's so crazy. Really quick, guys, I just want to give a shout out to Big House Productions with the $5 super chat. Big House, thank you so much, man. Thanks for the reminder, Will D. Let's go.
There you
and
go.
then-
Jerome's gonna give me my cut.
Yeah, they all get their commission. Brian, with the $2 super chat, Brian, thank you so much. $1,600 phone fund. I will add that to the fund. And then George as well. Brian forced me to contribute to the fund. George,
Brian, but
no, it's fine. Thank you so much. I want to make sure Gadget Beard is in here as well. Gadget Beard, how's it going? Welcome to the stream, man. If the Nord can perform decently where you can't tell the difference in performance on day-to-day usage, and I have a feeling you won't be able to, the better looking up-to-date phone I would recommend over the SE. Unless, I guess you have to say here, unless the camera is something that somebody wants as a high priority, which I think there are two different types of people. I think there's the kind that wants the camera to be the best it can be for the price. And then I think there's the other kind that wants, like, and someone brought that up today, gaming, right? Gaming and battery. I think those are the two kind of people that you get.
Game is something I never even consider, and I should, you know.
It just goes to show that there is difference in priorities for people when it comes to that
I
kind
play
of thing.
Asphalt 8, and that's about it. Asphalt
Yeah,
9.
the reason why I brought up the long-term support on an iPhone. It's like, the benefit isn't really going to be there for most people, because as you longer use the phone, the longer you keep it, the longer the battery's going to age. And iOS, they tone down the performance, so like your phone doesn't glitch out.
No, they don't.
They don't do that
Yeah, we
anymore.
Ted, you have a choice to turn that off. When your battery gets to the
It's on
point
by
where
default, and I don't think people go.
no. Listen, when your battery gets to the point where it's gonna start degrading, you go to the settings and you have a switch that you can choose to have your phone just cut off.
Is Apple going to give you the notification banner that says, "Hey, your
Well,
battery's dying"?
you gotta wait and see, but
They do that.
it's better than your phone.
Get out of here.
It's better than your phone just turning off. Like, I don't see how people can still be complaining about it. Like, if you didn't know about it, your
Because they don't
phone,
know.
I would rather have my phone not
It's not going to be on the top of their minds.
just randomly cut off
On
next
the
to
third day that they use the phone, they're like, "Oh, maybe my battery is so weak. Maybe I should go down to the settings and toggle it off." Like,
Jerome, is your mind saying I've heard Will say that same sentence before?
No, I just
6P because you got to think about it. Just like you said, most people don't know. So you would rather have your phone work longer and sacrifice a little bit of whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever speed.
I agree with Will. Not,
Forget
yeah.
it's like
it's so slow now. You're going to get a new phone.
it's just something to complain about, though.
what is that threshold? What is that threshold before they start limiting performance?
It's got to be like under 80%, and then you have an option. You'll get the option to
That
turn
low?
it. What?
I thought it'd be like 50 to 60%. Then they start turning it down.
It's like 80%.
It takes forever before it'll get to 80%. Trust me.
Yeah, because my phone is still at 100%, but it's like 80%, and it'll tell you have a choice of, you know what I mean, switching the.
So it
the
does
setting.
tell you. I didn't realize
It lets
that.
you turn it on or off. Like, you can decide to have. It'll tell you like your phone is gonna lose this, or you can have it keep running as hard as it can, and you might.
I wonder what my 11 Pro is at.
Anything?
I think to get to 80% with an iPhone is going to take a long time.
No,
If you ignore this warning, you don't get any support.
No, my 11 Pro is at like 90, like in the low 90s now. The battery has dropped so much because I use it all the time. I use it all the
I don't
time.
know. I don't know.
Well,
I had my first phone
The battery goes down fast on these.
a couple months ago.
AirPods?
Mine was at like before I switched it out. It was at like 96.
I had mine since
97.
November. I've had mine since November, and it's at 95 right now.
yeah, you guys are way better than me.
Yeah. What up, Easy?
You guys are way Easy Computer Solutions. What's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you.
Eric, nice to have you in here, brother.
All right, so okay, let me get into the last story here, but we can also take questions or whatever. But I brought this up yesterday. I talked about it for a while yesterday, and I even wanted to take the time to make a thumbnail about it. Will knows what I'm talking about. So yesterday,
I swear I want to steal that.
yesterday I talked about the fact that Google Photos got updated for your phone. Have you noticed? Has anyone noticed that Google Photos got updated? One of the main
I noticed the icon redesign, but it's still the same.
Well, one of the big things that came with Google Photos is the map view. You're able to search using the map. It'll show you a map on the Google Photos app, and it has like a little heat map where it shows you where you take most of your pictures, or it's like a really cool, nostalgic way to use it. But regardless of the features on that, the reason I'm bringing this up is the fact that Google Photos got updated on my iPhone before my Pixel 4 got it. And I don't even think it's on my Pixel 4 yet. So if you see this little picture, it's obviously, here's the Google Photo. They redesigned the logo as well. I put the iPhone on a pedestal because whatever. You know, with the Pixel 4, it's just a little joke of a thing. And then I just kind of put a little
my Google Photos from my bicycle ride yesterday, I know on my iPhone, I noticed the same thing.
So there you go. Now we can go through this all day. We can talk about this, and I understand that money plays a big part of it, but I feel like it's a disservice to people who own Pixel phones, who are loyal to the Google brand, for them to not update Pixel phones with the updates first before any other phones. It's fine if they want to do it for iPhone. Somebody in chat had brought up the fact that, well, maybe it's because, you know, they have a contract and, you know, there's money involved. And I understand that money plays a big part of it. But for me, I feel like Google should have a responsibility to update their own Google apps first when it comes to the Pixel lineup.
I kind of agree with you.
Give me that.
I do want to get your thoughts on it, because I ranted about it for like 20-25 minutes yesterday. But does this bother any of you guys? And I'm not just talking about Google Photos. This is not just Google Photos. This is talking about any kind of updates that's coming to. It's like think of just like adding dark mode to Gmail.
iPhone's got it first. When dark mode came to YouTube, iPhone got it first.
But
because it's easier. It's easier to develop on Android.
And if it's outside developers, that they always go for the Apple money.
Okay.
It's easier. Google doesn't, well, not just the Pixel, but you know, on Android, the apps are usually always second. The games come out second because it's so many different devices. And now for Google not to prioritize the Pixel, that's just how Google does it, because Google doesn't care. Google will rather you just buy any Android phone. They don't care if you don't buy the Pixel, like George always says. Because
that's how disconnected Google is as a company versus something like Apple.
That's very well said.
They'll just give all the features away. They'll be like, here, your new Pixel comes with portrait mode or whatever. Then we'll add it to the Google camera for any phone to get it. Like, so what's the point? Why am I giving you $1,000 if everything on the phone you're giving it to everybody else? Their phones are already, in a lot of ways, better than yours, and you're giving them the features that were supposed to make mine worth buying.
Your Android.
How big do you think the Pixel team is at Google? And do you think the Google Photos product manager cares to go over to the Pixel team and say, hey, I'm updating my app. Do you care?
No, you don't.
Point, Greg. Very good point.
He won't.
They're not connected as a company like that. That's why there's so many projects going on, because they're not centralized and looked at holistically.
Okay, so why stick with Google then? Why stick with Google?
That's why I didn't.
Just because we were talking, I picked up my S20 and tapped on Google Photos, and I got.
Okay, so I see you got the update, but here's the thing. Yesterday, a lot of people were telling me they were getting the update, but they only got kind of the UI update or the logo update, but they didn't have the maps feature in there. Can you check and see if you got the maps thing? I think Brian did say though he got it on his Note 10 Plus.
Now,
so,
where will I see the maps thing?
It should be in your search. Go to the search tab at the very bottom, and then there should be a map thing if it is working in there. Hold on, let me say hi to a couple other people as well. I see Mint Arcade in here. Oh, so you do have it. Good. That's great. Good morning. Hey, Mint Arcade. Nice to see you, man. It's been a minute. I know I stream at different times when you're not up, so I appreciate you stopping by. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see here. Salwonk is in here as well. Let's all move to iPhone. Well, I don't know. That might be Will might be on board with that, but I don't know about everybody else.
Now, some of us are more balanced than that.
There you go. There you go.
That new icon is terrible too.
I'm I'm not feeling the icon.
I'm not sure what the hell that icon even is.
It's supposed to
Is
be
that
a pin.
Google doesn't know
pinwheel.
either.
A pinwheel.
I like it.
Google
I
doesn't.
like it.
Well, no. They said the first one. They said the one that they switched from was a pinwheel, and
so
now they
this
switched
isn't a
it to
pinwheel
this
now.
to keep design elements or something. Yeah, they kept
if
the
you look
colors so
The
you can have
icons are
nostalgia.
flatter now.
Looks like
It's a pinwheel that goes in the opposite direction.
I don't know.
looks
It
like
looked like
a pinwheel.
4 half circles is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
Like Google could have changed this icon to anything, and everyone would have said it's trash. I mean, they just changed it. They just changed it because all the other Google apps have gone to a flat design, and that's
it
why
is.
they did it.
It is a definite flat design for sure. I know. I saw a comment in here real quick. Big House says, "I don't like that Moto by the trash can," but because I put it, but I just put that because you know how Google treated Moto. They just said,
Like
whatever. We
trash.
Left them at the curb.
That's how I feel about it. That is how I feel about it. Actually, I saw.
They messed up.
Google treated Motorola like a fuckboy. They just took the
Jerome, you know you got-
internet technology and they just bounced.
So
And Jerome,
where's
they
the
could
HTC?
have took
man?
Yeah.
the Moto display and used it for the Pixel, but they chose not to, and they give
That's-
you what they gave you.
That's the thing. That's the thing I miss the most is I do miss, and I keep saying that. I talk about it a lot. I don't know. I'm sure most of you guys have owned a Moto X Pure, but the thing I miss the most is that proximity sensor and being able to just
Yeah.
put my hand over it and then just get my notifications that way.
Jerome,
Like-
you have Soli now. Stop complaining.
Solely does not work the same. It does not work the same. It really doesn't. It's off at the moment.
It's a Moto feature, and Google rid themselves of everything Moto, Jerome. You gotta ask yourselves where the HTC engineers are. They're probably. If you guys seen the HBO show Silicon Valley?
Yeah. Oh, I
They're all
haven't
up on the
watched
roof,
the
man.
latest. But what's that? Say it again.
They're all up on the roof.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There
Get
you
that
go.
reference.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so I know that the hour is kind of like wrapping up here, but I have one last question, and I know.
We usually go 2 hours on.
Oh well, we can keep going. That's up to you guys. I just wanted to. No. I wanted to
Jerome,
be.
this
Jerome's
ain't
tired
your
of it. He's
wrestling
like,
days.
I wanted
that's
to be
it.
respectful.
Jerome's like, I streamed twice,
tired, guys.
today.
I wanted to be respectful of everyone's time, but let me bring this question up then. I know that we have used iPhones. We've also used Android, so nothing is off the table here. But you guys remember the Google Play Edition phones, right? If you
Yep.
guys, and for people who aren't aware what I'm talking about, it's pretty much they'll work with the company and say, hey, we will put stock Android essentially on your specific phone. So like Samsung won't have one UI on it or anything like that. It's just stock Android.
It was
If there was
before the Nexus program started.
for the Nexus
yeah.
program. If
It was
they
just
brought that,
before the Nexus.
if they brought that back, and you had any phone you could pick today, that would just have stock Android on it, what would that phone be?
iPhone to
Samsung.
me.
You would put stock Android on an iPhone, George,
Wow.
Just to see what it
Blasphemy.
looked like.
just to see. I just, for me, I was just wondering, like, what right now, as far as phones, has the top tier hardware out of anything else at this point?
I'm thinking it's probably
Huawei.
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 It's Huawei.
It would be
Huawei,
Huawei.
you can't get the Play
Or Oppo.
Store.
But if you
That's-
could,
Yeah. It needs it.
Huawei phone
Huawei
ain't
needs
a-
it.
if I could get Google services.
Huawei needed it even before they were allowed to use Google's apps.
I'd put it on a
I
Samsung.
think generally Huawei is recognized as the best phone maker in the world right now. Just that they don't have any Google services.
So does Huawei have better hardware than Samsung right now?
Yeah.
I think generally that's what the general opinion is, as near as I can tell. I haven't had
Yeah.
a Huawei phone
In terms
three-
of camera
3
performance, yes. In terms of silicon, yes.
What
in
is
terms
the,
of, in terms
what
of
is-
camera, they beat everybody too. So.
what's the chipset on that Huawei P40 Pro Plus? I don't-
You
That's your
know,
phone, Jerome.
9980 or 9990.
I know it's my phone, but it's not my phone yet, so I haven't dug into it that deep yet.
Okay. hold on.
I will say, if I get that Huawei P40 Pro
What is
Plus,
the silicon in the
I will-
Huawei
I will-
P40?
I will keep that as my daily driver for like a month, I think, and just like mess
Ted is
around with it.
talking to Google.
I don't think I'll be able to return that phone either. So
And you know what it did? It brought me up a stupid case. Oh my gosh.
For the-
stupid, as opposed to a smart case.
I
Ted,
said I know it's because I
Your
said
internet is
silicone.
working good.
Yeah, Ted's internet is on point for today's stream on my channel. So thank you.
Because you
Ted.
know it's on his channel, it's on Jerome's channel, and he has those high standards. So I was like, okay.
Oh my god. So okay. Is there any kind of like, I guess when it comes to phones, then if you were to have stock Android, because I know Grant's a fan of stock Android, so is Will. I'm sure
Right.
George is too. I don't know Ted. I know Ted, like you,
It's the Kirin 990
the Kirin.
Okay.
So
5G.
so what kind of hardware would you use then if you were able to just put stock Android on any phone? Would it be a Huawei then? Is that what
Yeah.
you probably put your money on?
Easy. Yeah,
That's
we
what I
need
would
Huawei.
put it on.
I'd
there,
use
too.
Samsung
What, like a
because you're not getting. I don't remember. They didn't come with like that company's camera, right? It was still Google's. I can't remember how it worked. With the Play Edition, did it come with like Samsung's
No,
camera? I don't think so.
no, it was just straight
So
Google.
it still came with Google's software. So
Yes.
it's
Right.
not going to really
Yeah.
matter. So
Uh,
yeah, I would take Samsung.
What about you, Grant? Any thoughts?
I don't know. This is a topic that rotates on this show like once a month, I think. I should have been prepared.
No.
Um,
If
He
wait,
said
let
he
me
just recycle stuff.
ask you really quick. If you are able to put stock Android on that Sony Xperia 1 Mark II right now, would you do that?
it's pretty much stock already.
Is it really?
It's close. I mean, I know people are like, nah, it's not stock, but I mean, it's pretty close.
Are you saying it's close like Moto phones are, or
It's
like
like,
Yeah.
I'm not that picky about it. So it's like, Sony's always been pretty close to stock.
Yeah, Sony
Not
has
perfectly,
been
but they've always been pretty close to it. Kind of like a OnePlus.
Okay. I just thought I would bring that
I'd
up.
probably put Samsung too, just because that's a heavier UI than I'd
heavier
like.
skin?
So.
And just to see it like straight up with just like
Well, that's why when Samsung had that Google Play edition, that was awesome. Or when like HTC had theirs, those were awesome. Even though HTC was
I
close,
remember-
but
Yeah, I remember.
The
For
hardware
the,
was
I don't
awesome.
know if you remember the Samsung Galaxy S3. There was two versions. There was the LTE model, which had 3 gigabytes of RAM, and then the regular standard version that had 2 gigabytes of RAM. Then there was the Google Play edition. I remember when they were updating it to, I think, KitKat, they couldn't update the standard Galaxy S3 because of once they added the skin on top of the operating system, there wasn't enough RAM to run the whole system. So that was usually the eye opener for me. Like, whoa, Samsung has problems.
But
you
of
just
course,
throw it on like an
they-
Oppo or Vivo hardware when it comes out, because they always come out with the best stuff first.
but it
Uh-huh.
went
Kind of see how it
farther.
runs with the best hardware every cycle,
That's a good point.
Or the
yeah.
Fold. Put it on a Fold, because then you can see how Android stock.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
Support
That would be
foldable. It's baked into
Yeah.
the OS, right? So
That's
Look
right.
at
I
Big
didn't think
House.
about
He
that.
said he'd put it on his Xiaomi Redmi Note 9S.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of what I had for the hour. So I don't know if you guys still
Jerome
want.
wasn't prepared.
I mean, I wasn't, because I thought I know we've gone longer, but I also, again, I wanted to respect everyone's time. I don't want.
No, almost every Friday we get close to 10 o'clock, or last week we went past 10 o'clock.
That's fine then. We can keep talking, but I also want to bring it up. If any of you guys need to get moving, just please let me know. Like, I totally respect if you guys aren't able to last or hang around for the rest
it's
of the
dealer's
show.
choice, man. You're the host, and
Nah, I don't go to
You
work.
got a
till
lot
almost
going
11.
on. I'm on the
Yeah,
West
yeah,
Coast, so
yeah.
it's early for me.
Okay,
And I'm
fair enough.
75 years old. I'm not supposed to be able to move in the first place.
Hey, but along the lines of that last question, Jerome,
Yeah.
like, you ever thought about like why more manufacturers don't try to move towards like Android One?
So you know what? That's so funny that you
I'm
bring
sure
that
there's
up.
program requirements for that, but then
Mhm.
you would figure if you had stock Android, it'd be a lot easier to support.
You would think.
You wouldn't have to hire as many software engineers to maintain all the customization to it.
Yeah, it's
You just have to get the hardware.
No, it's actually really interesting that you bring that up, because for a minute I was looking for phones that had Android One, and I figured I would just try to buy something there and see how well an Android One phone would do. And then when I was looking at Moto's lineup with Android One, I've noticed that Android One for Moto is not completely stock anymore. They have added a little bit of their skin to it, but they still call it Android One. And then I think there was an article explaining why they didn't do it anymore, and they just said, "Oh, our customers don't really like it." And I didn't understand. I'm like, "Who customers? What are you doing to your?" But I haven't used the Moto phone with Android One or just a Moto phone in general in a long time. I know Nokia, right? Nokia has been pretty good with the Android One program, although
They have been.
I've been wanting to buy.
I think they put out the best quality of phones with Android One of anybody.
Yeah, I've been wanting to buy a Nokia phone with Android One, but I don't know what to buy because I just don't know what's worth buying at that point. As
I
far
had the
as
Nokia 9, I had the Nokia 7.1, and the Nokia 6.1, all three of which I still have, and they're as close to stock as you're going to get.
yeah, but to answer or to kind of just reflect on Grant's question, I don't know. I you know what? I read an article today that was talking about the article I think was on Android Central, and it was like bring back the Moto X Pure, because they were
Please.
people thought that like having this the Moto Edge Plus, right? Is that what their flagship phone was on Verizon? They thought maybe bringing this back would kind of like bring back the remnants of what Motorola used to be, but I don't think that's the case, and I don't know.
Lenovo was in charge of that, though.
Yeah, I don't know if Motorola will ever be the same as what it was back in like 2013. Those were
Not
I
in
feel like those were its heydays.
Lenovo. I got it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The other thing, and I'll bring it up to the chat as well. If you guys have any questions or whatever, feel free to ask, because again, like this was the time I had. But
Actually, I have
He has
to
no more
go,
PowerPoint
guys.
slides, so
you need to get going, Ted.
Yeah, I have to go.
All right.
All right,
Thank you
Ted.
for joining.
It was a fun. It was a blast, guys. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'm talking to the chat.
Ted, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. Well, so I do want to bring up too is, did you see the news on the new iPhone 12? So as far as the iPhone 12, there are talks that they might bring a 4G version to it, and it might be as low as, if I saw that correctly, $550, a $549 price point, but it would be 4G only.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either.
I don't buy that either, but
that's lower than the 10R right now.
5G.
Well, so no, what they were saying is that they would remove the 10R. The 10R would come out of the lineup, and it would be replaced with a 4G iPhone 12.
Yeah, it would have to.
Yeah,
but
I saw that and I was like, well,
450?
No, not 450, 550.
550.
550.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it's like you got the SE, then you make the jump from 4 to 550.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's hard to buy that Apple would do that, though, don't you think?
Maybe,
I don't know though, George, because I never thought they would come out with a, what was it, 700 for the 11?
700 for the 11, and now they're talking about 650 for the 12. So
their prices have been going down. So
yeah, actually, Brian had a good question on my stream earlier today, and he was kind of asking what kind of battery would they put on the 12, since it's going to have a much smaller form factor, like a 5.4 inch display. So it's not going to have the same kind of battery capacity as the 11 then, right? I don't know how good that battery is going to be on the 12, which is
whatever they did last year. As long as they do it again,
they just got to keep doing what they're doing. The batteries are great on all the 11s.
I don't know what they did, but my battery is pretty good. Can't complain.
No, and that's how it is for my 11 Pro. It's been.
And I didn't think I was going to upgrade, but now I might upgrade. I might.
What, to the 12?
I like the design. I like the squared off edges, like the 4.
Oh yeah. No, I like that too. Yeah, I'm down with that. I don't really know what else you guys want to talk about.
I don't really want the LiDAR though. I don't really care about all that.
Wait, can we?
You're doing it. So you keep in mind you're in charge here.
No,
brother.
I know. Well, no, actually, let me ask. Can someone explain to me how this LiDAR works? What will I get out of that if I get that?
It's like for AR, from what I understand. They're saying that they're not even going to use it to enhance the portrait mode. It's going to be like depth. So like if you're like playing a game or something, I think, and you use it for augmented reality. I'm not really sure. So I just seen it on the iPad. Like if you go look up an iPad video when they're using it. if you've ever used the you probably never did the measuring app on your iPhone or on Android. It'll be like scan the area with the LiDAR.
Oh, yeah.
You're not gonna have to do that no more. It'll just have a scan and it'll give you, you know what I mean?
So there are no camera improvements for having LiDAR.
From what I'm hearing, no, there's nothing. It's nothing to do with the camera. I think they're just putting it because they put it on the iPad. They're probably like, we have extra, so let's just throw it on the phone. It's on the new iPad. So
Yeah, unlike Google, Apple's departments talk to each other. You know?
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yeah,
Tana
right.
So Lit is in here. Yo, Tana, what's going on? Welcome to the
Hey,
stream.
Tanner,
Nice
what's
to
up,
have
brother?
you. I see Joker Tech also.
And Mike is in here too.
Give 10 minutes. So I don't know if
And
he
then-
means, I don't know if he means he wants to jump in on 10 minutes. And
then Jerome, you know they're supposed to be coming out with glasses. So Apple's trying to go all in on all this AR and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
what happened to Google Glass? Did any of you guys ever own Google Glass?
I wasn't spent. What was it, $2,000? No.
$1,500, wasn't it? I think. Yeah.
It was
And
super
Google scrapped it anyway. I think it's only for like contractors and stuff now.
They got
I
so,
think
Yeah.
they still have a form
so
of it,
much
but it's
bad
still-
press when it first came out. You know.
Well, that and you have to make an actual in-person appointment to go get them and get them fitted
do?
and go through a whole thing with them.
What?
When they
is
first
so
when they first came out, that's how they did it. Like if you bought it,
I didn't know that.
you have to go schedule an appointment for them to like fit you with this thing, and then they wanted to go over with you how to use it properly, probably what it was, because they didn't want people going out there having no clue, messing around with it, and just totally messing it up and saying, "Oh, this is trash." Which
Well,
I mean,
you're on the north side there in California, and like wasn't there that big ordeal? They didn't want people wearing those glasses anymore. Wasn't it like a whole year or so? They were calling them like glass holes when they would
they were getting all kinds of bad press.
like you couldn't go into a restaurant or anything like that.
that's
with
why
them.
Apple's not putting cameras on theirs.
Yeah, it was the cameras. Yeah.
Wait. So Apple's not putting a camera on their glasses at all? I thought that they were. No. Oh,
They said it's not going to have a camera.
I just feel like that would be an awesome
It was a heads-up display. I mean,
They'll be
basically,
outlawed everywhere if there's a camera on that thing.
Huh.
You'll be what?
They'd be outlawed everywhere.
Oh yeah. They're not going
You're
to.
walking anywhere with those.
yeah. In today's security world, yeah, nobody's going to do
Apple's
that.
going to be like, we're all.
Well, that's
about privacy.
that's what killed Glass.
Yeah,
That's partly what killed Glass anyway.
Right. I mean, I would love to see that come back, though. I would use
Camera
it.
and Google. Why? Because Google will just kill it anyway. Google doesn't care.
that's true.
Google does not care, man. They have no commitment to nothing. They're like whatever.
They
Well,
commit
okay.
money.
Except for search and the maps. The rest
So-
of it, I guess photos a little bit.
So let's transition then, and we'll keep it Google. Let's talk about the Pixel 5 because we have time to talk about the Pixel 5. Mike's coming in anyway in a little bit. Did you say let's not?
Let's not.
Um,
Google just disappoints me every year. Man.
No, I know, and I feel very similarly. But again, like I think Google, I don't know. I want to stay optimistic, and I always say that. But as far as the Google 5, is anybody or any of you guys still like looking forward to it? I'm pretty sure Grant's gonna buy it. Well, I don't know.
If
Maybe
I get ignored,
I'm not.
we end up
I'm
getting
not.
5 because I skipped the Pixel 4a, but we'll see.
so. You will get. Oh, so you might get the 5.
I might get the 5 based on price if I get the Nord instead of the 4a.
Brian says here the Pixel 5 is the ugliest phone of 2020. You don't know that yet.
It is. You saw the back. You know,
I don't-
Google's phones come out a year. They leak a year ahead.
Yeah, but you know how all these phones are. The phones come out and everybody says that. Remember when iPhone
Nah,
came out with this
listen.
line?
No.
Everybody
No.
It wasn't.
Nah,
6 months later, it wasn't.
George,
How it always is.
nah. George, that thing is ugly. I don't know how you can't even. There's no making that nice.
That's what they said
But
when
Google,
I came out with this design.
no,
Everybody
not
said
George. There's different levels of ugly. That
George,
thing is real ugly.
Ugly.
Jerome, you got a picture of it. That
It-
thing is
Yeah,
terrible, man.
I'm
Since
about to share it.
I've been doing YouTube, every phone that has been called ugly in a few months, everybody stops.
Look at that, George. George, there's nothing nice about that at all.
Okay.
Hey, people
No.
want different. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, it's a face right here.
Google's always different, but it's like they finally came full circle and made the face. The 3 had the front was a face, and now they finished it on the back.
Tana says,
I guess they just had to face up to it, huh? Oh.
Yeah.
Tana says pixels are always ugly. I don't know about that. I don't think they're all well. I don't know. They're not the best looking, I guess, but I don't think they're ugly. But yeah,
I didn't think the 4 was ugly.
yeah,
I mean, because
I
The
camera
four- the
modules
four-
everywhere at this point.
The
And then
four-
the actual materials are really nice. Like if you just looked at it in the picture, I could see how it looks plain. But if
Right.
you hold it, the materials are really nice.
Yeah.
And it's matte finish,
Hey,
so
when you,
that's
when you
actually
when you pick up quality and you can feel quality, you know, even with this TCL phone, it feels like a quality phone.
Oh,
when you
that
pick-
10 Pro is definitely premium quality feeling for sure. For sure.
The Google, to me, I had all of them except for the A. I wouldn't mind how it looks if it worked better. Like if
If
the battery lasted longer.
time, you mean?
And if it felt, I don't know, like the 4, I liked the way it felt, but it didn't feel like I just spent $900 or was it $1,000 on the phone. Like it was so light.
Well, plus with
I
that
don't know.
battery, you would have dumped that in a hurry. I know you.
Google, what, the 4? The 4 XL? I mean, it was all right, but the iPhone just did too good last year. So it was hard to justify keeping it for that amount of money, man. No wide angle. It was just like I could have just
the
if I
wide
knew it
angle
gonna
thing
be
was
that-
the biggest thing to me.
If I knew that was going to be the phone and solely was just going to be like an experiment for a year that they didn't do nothing with, and the camera, and I should have knew that the Face ID wasn't going to get no support, I would have never bought it. I would have kept the 3. They got rid of the wide angle on the front. The phone, I don't know. It's not worth it at all. It's a year. It's a year later.
It didn't get support based on all the criticism that everybody gave, including
No,
me.
it didn't get support because Google's stupid. You don't put a feature out. You don't put out $1,000 phone and not make your developers have to adopt to what you're doing.
Oh,
That's dumb.
That's probably true.
It's a year later, and the phone still can only open probably like 20 apps in the thing.
They updated my Chase app.
Ridiculous.
Will my
It
Chase app
opens now.
now it works. I haven't checked
Where's the
Capital
phone?
One yet. Huh?
Where's the phone?
It's here. It has here.
There
There's
you
still
go.
battery on it. There's
Oh,
battery
okay.
on it. Anyway, yeah, they at least updated the Chase app, so now I can unlock with my face on the Chase app. I can't do it with my
A year
Capital One
later.
app yet. Yeah, a
And
year.
Solely was no point. Like
Maybe
Whoever
they're
thought of that.
working in Apple time, you know.
whoever thought of that should be fired, because why would you put that sensor on it and you can't sell the phone in a whole country
Yeah, can't sell
for something that you did nothing with?
in the world.
Yeah, actually,
dumb.
let me ask because
Is Mike in the thing yet? He said he's coming.
yeah, I haven't seen him. He didn't
All
pop
right.
in yet. Usually lets me know. But Brian brought this up as well. Brian's like another stream demonetized. Probably Brian. Probably. That happens a lot
You're
on
so
my channel.
optimistic.
So no. So I can't remember if we got a definitive answer on that. But the fact that it couldn't be used in India, was that just solely, or was it the whole face unlock? Could you not use face
It was
unlock?
the sensor. The
Just the
sensor.
sensor.
They
The
didn't
sensor
approve of
itself.
that radar,
It would have
Okay.
been against
and
the
they
law.
knew it. They knew it though. They knew going
they
into
knew it
it
all
that they
along.
couldn't use it, and they were like, "Oh, we just won't sell it in India." They were commenting and stuff like, "Yeah, we love our Indian market and blah blah blah." You know,
And
it
the
was
market
dumb.
is bigger than the U.S.
Dumb. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And
and
to
now
this
there's no
point,
more
what is
slowly,
so?
so go figure.
What is
Yeah,
what
I
does
mean,
Soli
Soli's
do?
done.
Like it does nothing.
I wonder if Soli could have actually been better, if there was something that they could have done to make that better. Because I thought they were at least going to give it another year. The
Yeah,
fact
don't be
they gave,
surprised if it comes back at some point. It wouldn't surprise me at
No,
all.
it's gone.
They
They're
gave
gonna
the
put it in the. They're gonna put it in the hub.
how
they
long
should
did
have
that
put it in the
squeeze
hub.
feature get a squeeze has been around since what? The Pixel
The
is it just-
Pixel 2.
Pixel
Two.
2. Yeah.
Is it
It's
two?
the HTC U12.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I still have that too.
So that had some time. Soli didn't even get a chance at all.
And you know, it's funny that you said that, Grant, because in the U12, I did use the squeeze figure, and in the Pixels, I never did.
You
Well,
know
you
why you don't use it,
customize it.
George? You know why you don't use it? Because there's 18 different ways to open Google Assistant.
Well,
That's
Punch
fair.
from the corner, swipe over from the. It's
and the U12 was much heftier and fatter, wider. So my hand, I guess, got more.
probably was more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very heavy phone.
I'm just worried about the Pixel 5's camera and the price. I think those are the two things that really get to me. Is like, are they going to price it at
Price is what I'm
$700?
worried about.
They are. Jerome, there's no way that they're not pricing the phone at $999. Not with, especially if the 4A comes out. They're not going to
go
like,
to a budget
here's the
process
4A
and go up and
at
go to high prices. That makes no. You talk
And
about
then-
stupid to me. That's stupid.
They're not going to be like, here's the 4A at 400, and then here's the Pixel 5, the brand new one with a, you know what I mean, for 5 or 6.
With half the processor.
$899. They're cool, you know. They're going to make it water resistant and wireless charging. It's going to be $899.
$899 for the Pixel 5?
That's going to be for the small one.
Get out of here. No way. There's
They
no
do
way.
it every year.
Well, based on that, I won't be buying one.
Watch.
Yeah,
64 gig, $899. $1,000.
No, it's not. Get out of here.
Google feels like in order for their phone to be worth it to people, they have to make it the same price as Samsung and Apple.
But then they have to keep the same processor, not go to a lower processor.
They just copy what Apple and Samsung are doing, and they think they can get away with it. That they
What
can do
you're
it.
saying, Apple and Samsung are making cheaper phones.
Yeah, but
No, I don't know.
Google
It'd be interesting to sit in on a Pixel meeting with the product managers to see what's going through their head. Because for a while, you could have made the argument that Pixel was there to be the aspirational device for Android, right? This is how you make an Android phone, right? This is the Google way to do it.
Right.
And we're going to price it really high because we're Google. We're going to have limited production runs, right? And we don't want to undercut our OEM partners like Samsung and everyone else.
Yeah.
But once they went to that A line and they undercut them all, that argument went out the window. I have no clue what the hell they're doing with their marketing strategy for the Pixel anymore, because it totally made sense before, right? Nexus was a developer device. It wasn't the best hardware, so it was cheap. It has to get into the most hands.
But
But
how do
the
you go to
Pixel-
a budget processor and keep a high price? That doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
Yeah,
The
but
Pixel also seems to be an experimental device because Google just does what Google wants to do with it. Like,
That's true.
hey, let's see if we can shrink radar down and
Yeah.
charge a ton of money for that
That's
nobody
true.
really wants. But it's cool, and we think it's cool because we try to solve problems like that at Google.
So,
But
so
is it a
Grant,
consumer thing?
Tan-
No,
Tan
not
is-
for another 10 years, maybe. But
Tan is asking a good question there.
what's that?
listen, George, you're saying that you can't charge that much for the chip. You got to remember,
saying
though,
you can't. I'm just saying it's stupid.
No,
I'm saying
we
it's
know
stupid.
about the chip, but most people don't care. They don't know. They don't know that the chip is trash or whatever. It's not. You know what I mean? It's not.
And the Pixel has never sold to most people and probably never will.
Yeah, but
No Pixel has
That's
ever sold
that's
to
true.
most people.
that's true.
So who buys Pixels?
Well,
Tech people.
we're gonna-
Tech people
we're gonna
know
see-
that it has a budget processor.
But the whole point of Pixel was to make it mainstream, was it not? Or am I wrong?
But it hasn't happened.
I know that it hasn't, because if they were just going to keep it experimental, then they should have just kept it as a Nexus.
I agree.
I think that's the thing. And Grant makes a good point, because it reminds me of what Leo Android Stud was saying, is that Google just does not care. They do not care. They're just going to do what they want to do.
I think that's
well, they
probably
want to
true.
solve
Grant said the
problems
same
that no
thing.
one has before, right? But is it a
Mhm.
problem that consumers want? No, but it's a challenging one. So that's something that Google would pick up. That's like a Google thing, right? That makes sense. They do crazy things that they think no one else can solve but them. But
Yeah,
is
they
that
like
a
challenges.
consumer? Can you consumerify that? Or is that a come out of the head?
Doesn't he look lovely?
Hi,
Thanks-
Mike.
Thanks for dressing up for it.
Mike looks like I have no idea what's going on there.
You look like you threw a couple back.
He looks like the Joker.
Yeah, sight for sore eyes.
He should have put the makeup on.
Yeah, I really wanted the makeup for all the hype
I
that
can't
you're
hear
building
you
up for
guys.
that other
Hold on.
stream.
I don't have
Yeah.
headphones. Shoot.
Yeah, where are your headphones? You have all this.
I
You have
need
all this
headphones.
background noise
Maybe-
right now. Do you want me to? You want me to?
Hold on
remove
a
you
sec.
from the
I'll be
stream
right
for
back.
now? Yeah,
Mute
go-
him.
go
Mute
do
him.
that. Yeah, I will mute you for now. No, he muted himself. So
Yeah. I don't know. Google just disappoints me. It's like, if it's going to be an experiment, they shouldn't charge you
I
$1,000.
think Grant is right. Google does what Google wants, and it's like you and I have said. Well, Google doesn't care. I don't think
And you know what? That's why nobody buys their phones.
that's probably true.
I buy their phones.
Yeah,
I buy all of them.
techies buy their phones. That's it.
Hey, VG Tech Life. What up? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you. Nice to have
Really,
you.
for you, sir.
I won't even say nobody buys them. It's just that they'll never be like mainstream. They're never going to catch on.
And that's
Eventually,
what they were
Google.
supposed to try to be when
Okay,
they came out with the
What about the Pixel 6 when they make their own custom chipset? Isn't that going to
Listen,
change it? Or no?
eventually, somebody's going to be like, "This is the end. We can't keep losing money,"
When
because they
If they
came
make
out.
their own chipset, then they're really going to start charging serious money. I'll bet you
I
that.
think the Pixel came out when the iPhone was it the 7 maybe whatever
I think-
whenever they came out with that first design, they came out and it was all right. Everybody was like, all right, that was their first chance. The
Right.
second one came out, they had the screen issues, but
Right.
since then it's like they just keep finding stuff. So unless they change the whole name of the phone, everybody's gonna be like, it's a Pixel. I don't trust it.
If the Pixel stops being made, then I don't know what I'm going to buy as far as Android phones.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where every year when a Pixel comes out, somebody's looking for that next Pixel problem, and they get it.
Jerome, get ready because they're about to have a lawsuit for the Pixel 3. So you'll get some money
Oh, I
back.
read about that.
I'm
did
waiting
read
for
about
that one.
Yeah,
I'm waiting
yeah,
for my
No,
money
it's
back.
not the Joker. It's a guy named Mike.
for today. It is.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how. I'm here. Hi.
Thank you for making the show,
welcome
Mike.
welcome. Here we go. This is the studio right now. It's a complete disarray, but I got a good roof.
That's
And a roof.
I
great.
got a good roof.
I'm so happy that your roof is
We
all
raised the
done.
roof. Woo!
There you go.
Every
Coming live to you from the Pixel 3a, folks.
Oh wow,
There
really?
you go.
That's
There you
good.
go. Mike is repping the Pixel.
I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
Wait, why?
With the
Why?
headphone jack.
Wait. Oh, that's why. I was going to ask. Why aren't you using the iPhone SE to stream today?
I don't know. It was here.
How's it going, Mike? How you doing?
Splendid.
Now that you have a new roof, you ought to be pretty happy.
I'm happy. Oh, I'm happy. It's done and over with. Let me tell you, it was an experience. If I still seem a little tilted, it's because I'm on a wonky tripod. I got this sitting on a box.
It's okay, Mike.
I'm not in my
used to you
normal
being
situation.
You're good, Mike. You're good.
I like my guard. I dress better normally. I should have my wife beater on next time.
That's what I was going to
Oh.
say. I was like, you should have had a wife beater on instead.
Yeah.
How did
I can't
how
see the
did
chat. I
they-
can't see the chat.
how
Jerome,
did
you-
they end up being called wife beaters? I don't understand that.
Yes,
You
you,
don't
do.
No, I don't.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Oh my God, George, please.
I mean,
Hold on.
what? When
This is getting
I
better every
wear,
minute.
I wear those shirts under my regular shirts. Does that turn me into a wife beater?
No, that was
No.
that
You
was
see,
the name
you
they've
see,
given
you
it.
don't understand. I got the physique. I got the belly. I got probably one with a big stain on it. I probably should be carrying a beer. Okay.
Guess
I'm
I
thinking-
just,
All right.
Thinking
I
of,
don't smoke. It'd be one cigarette on the side. You know.
I'm too
You know why, Bob?
So
You know why they call it a wife beater.
Mike, have you caught the stream? I want to get your thoughts on.
that's what. Well, you know what. I want my room back, but I hear this, and I'm like going, screw it. I'm coming in hot. Okay, so here I am. I'm
Okay.
right here. Okay, so
So make
what-
your
what's going
comments.
on? Grant, are you scared now? You're scared of me now, aren't you? Because he's awfully quiet over there. His eyes are like this big, like, oh, holy crap! What
No,
is
no.
No.
Grant
This
lets
is pretty
us
much like
all.
this is pretty much like every week now.
Yeah, Grant lets
Now,
us.
now it's a
lets
real
us
stream.
get all
I
our
was really
hot air
hoping that
out.
the Joker would come up, and I was really hoping that you would have the makeup on the last stream.
There
That
you
you're
go.
hyping it all up. I was like, oh, he's gonna come out dressed
There
as
you
the
go.
Joker, man. I'm totally gonna
All
watch
right.
that thing.
All right.
I felt gypped.
I've been told that plenty of times. I will work on it, but I'm not going to do it during the summer. Okay. You know, I
Well,
have a
just
new
get the
roof
green
and
hair
I'm sitting
going.
next to it.
Yeah, there
Air
you go.
conditioner.
And Mike, you need
Yeah,
to know how
I'll get some
Grant
green
works. He lets us get all the hot air out. Then he says the intelligent stuff.
Yeah.
that is so on point, George. I feel like Grant sits there and lets us just like make all these asinine comments, and then
Exactly.
Grant's like, "Okay, let me tell you really how this
There you
should
go.
be."
Yeah.
Anyway, Mike, I would like to hear your opinion on WWDC, on the whole like Google Photos thing. I kind of want to know where your head is at when it comes to a lot of this stuff. The OnePlus Nord.
All right, give me a minute. I'll be right back.
all that kind of
Well, I
stuff.
want. Oh shoot! Did I? Oh wow, that's weird. Am I there?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're here, Mike.
Also, my screen went blank, so
You're
I couldn't
good.
see it. Like the phone went to sleep. Anyway,
That's why.
I want what really brought me in. You guys were like looking for subjects and all. There was an Android Authority piece about comparing the new iOS 14 and what if an S6 got Android 11. Comparing the two. And you guys were like looking for comparisons. You were talking about stuff, and that's what made me think like, I got to bring this up. So let's talk about how iOS is keeping a 5-year-old phone still alive to this day. Meanwhile, Google can't seem not Google. I shouldn't blame it all on Google, and I shouldn't blame it all on Android.
It is
really
Google's fault.
No, it's actually Snapdragon, the Qualcomm's fault.
Listen, if they can, if Munchie can put it on a Moto, whatever, Google can do it. They don't want to.
And that's what the article said. So what gives with that? What gives? Why can't a 5-year-old Android phone get the latest software?
Yeah, why not? Actually, if we actually do the math on that, that means the Nexus 6P would be eligible for Android 11. Am I?
It had a list.
There was a whole list on the site showing you all the phones that are supposed to be updated.
That would be awesome to know that my Nexus 6P could still get Android 11. It's been so far gone now that it's just
And you were talking about earlier about what would be a phone to have the Play. What was that? Google Play edition you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
And I still say Google tried that again with the Android One program. And it was like bells and whistles and hoopla, woo! And look, we're going to come back with stock Android and these phones. These other manufacturers, what was it? Only 3 years ago that program came out, and here we are. You don't hear boo. You don't hear nothing.
The only one that came out with a premium phone for Android One was Nokia.
I don't
Is
really
that
think
the-
that was supposed to be
that's
for
the
here, though.
Android
Wasn't
now,
that
really?
for India?
say
Wait.
that again, Will.
Wasn't Android 1 supposed to be like for India?
No,
how it
that's
started.
what is that other program that Android has? Not Android One, but just
Android Go.
Android Go.
Go.
Yeah, that's
Android for India too, I think.
You don't want any part of that.
not,
Those
no,
are like
no
really
Android Go.
Not if
Android
drones,
Go
not if
phone
you're
that
gonna
I've
complain
seen.
about lag on like a
Yeah,
A71 or something. You
Every
definitely don't
Android
want to touch anything with
phone
Android. You don't
I've
want
seen,
it.
I don't want. I know
Good
that.
to know. Good to
That
know.
is definitely for emerging markets and
Exactly.
all that.
Yeah, no. That's a fair enough point. Yeah, I honestly don't know though, Mike, why Android cannot keep up. Well, like you said though, if you said Snapdragon, if that's the case, does that mean when the Pixel 6 comes out with their own chipset, that means they're going to have better control when it comes to updating older phones?
You would hope.
Is that
Update the Pixel, but not everything else.
well? No, here's the
You're
thing.
wishful thinking. You're wishful thinking that Google is actually going to make their own silicon.
So,
I
his
wish
wishful thinking is
I'm
basically
excited
the
about that. So, Mike, you didn't say which phone you would put it on if you could put it on any phone in the world.
Oh, Moto.
Okay, I had a
Motorola.
feeling like that. Okay.
I gotcha.
Why? I mean, they're the ones that has the closest to a stock experience. Next, Nokia now, Android Nokia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How about this? Let me throw this in there. And I saw in the comments, BlackBerry went from BlackBerry OS to BlackBerry Android.
Right.
Can you imagine having a Play edition on a BlackBerry with their security?
Oh, that'd be
standards
awesome.
put to it?
Yeah.
that's a good point. I never even I totally forgot about that.
Everybody forgot. Look, the Key series. Can you imagine a Key 2 with Android, the Play edition or Android One edition?
Yeah, now you probably got Serrano all excited because he has.
They got to bring back. They have to bring back a better version of that Priv. That hardware was actually a really good concept. The collapsible,
Yes.
the slide out keyboard.
So it's
No,
not
like
a
that-
keyboard.
Like the
Yeah,
Key
it's back.
2, solid hardware, like a tank of a phone, and it looked good, felt really solid. But you want that big display as much as possible. And then when you want your
Mhm.
keyboard, you can slide it out with the Priv. It's just that the keyboard wasn't that great. So if they kind of made a new revision on that, and it doesn't even have to be a BlackBerry. It can just be an Android phone. Someone else can do it. right? I think that hardware was a really awesome concept.
So why was there never a successor to that phone? Just there was no
Because
sales for it, or what?
BlackBerry.
Well,
Because-
TCL was making them at that point.
Fair enough, Grant.
Ted is back in the comments, by the way.
Ted. Yeah, Ted is saying Android One is the focus for the software. Android Go was hardware focused. Okay.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of debating on like what I want next or what I want to mess around with next, and I think at
The
this point,
iPhone 12.
well, yeah, those are obvious. iPhone 12, Pixel 5. But I was always thinking of a tertiary
Alright.
phone. But that's going to be the Huawei. I'm going to buy that Huawei phone.
I got a
regardless.
question, Jerome, since
Yeah.
we don't got nothing. What do you think Google's going to do with the camera?
What do you think Google's going to do with the camera?
The Android you mean for the
Pixel 5?
Five?
Yeah, the Pixel 5. You think they're going to bring wide angle or I
Uh,
think they did put wide
they
angle
have
actually, because they don't. I didn't think they could really fix it. You know what I mean?
yeah, but they caught a lot of heat for not having wide angle up to now.
Yeah, but what do you think they're going to do to it to make it better than you know what I mean? What can you really do with wide angle?
I'm guessing that Google really needs to start upping their optics, their hardware in terms of its lenses and stuff, because I don't know. I need them to really like come out the gate and have something that is just. I just want them to be. I mean, and I know Grant feels that the Pixel 4 is a great, and it is. It's an excellent camera phone, but I want it to like really be worlds apart from what's out there.
You wanted
today.
to smash the iPhone.
I do want it.
Yeah, you're not going to get it to be worlds apart, is my guess.
Well, okay, so can we? Where does the Huawei
Google needs
P40
to make
Pro
their
Plus
thing move
land
better.
in terms of camera quality? Like, how much better is that camera quality over the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pixel 4? Is it? I guess we can't call it worlds above either, right? But it is a definite improvement over both of those phones.
You got to keep in mind. I mean, from what a lot of the big shots have been saying for the last couple of years, nobody can beat Huawei for pictures either. So
I think Huawei is just versatile. I mean, they have all the lenses, and at least for still, their video is getting better. But
And they
for
make their
each-
own
each
processors.
lens, their image processing was very good, and they've extended that in the P40 to the wide angle. So
And that's
wide angle used to
why I
take
said
great
that's
shots
what's
only in good light, right?
Yeah,
Once you
that's
hit
why-
almost any wide angle camera in low light, it's over, and including the iPhone. iPhone is trash wide angle in low light.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, would you think
And so-
Huawei is the overall best phone maker in the world? I would think they probably are.
Huawei.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't owned anything since the 6P, so like it's been a while
Yeah,
since I.
Me neither, but from what everybody says, I'd have to say they seem to get everything right more than anybody else. You know,
I think their video has to come along, which it started to, I think, by what I can see from the P40. So they're focusing on it, right? They improve one thing every time. And so they've nailed down the main wide lens. They've got really good telephoto and zoom, right? They've got good hybrid zoom. So now they're working on wide angle. They improved the wide angle in low light this year. They improved the video a little bit. So they keep improving. But then if you look at Pixel, though, Jerome, like you're like, well, they need to improve their hardware and their sensors.
Mhm.
And, I wonder what that does for Google's algorithms, right? Because they're probably complex algorithms. They're all about computational photography, and they got it nailed
Right.
down for these 12 megapixel sensors, obviously.
Mhm.
And so not many people are doing computational on high megapixel sensors very well right now. I mean, just ask Samsung. And so
Yeah.
I really wonder if their pixel binning algorithms aren't where they want it to be. And so they don't want to move up to the new sensors, because that also is what ruined the V60 this year for me. I don't know what anyone else is saying, but I don't think
really?
the V60 cameras are that great this year. On their own, they look pretty good. But once you start comparing it to predecessor flagships with those same IMX 12 megapixel sensors, even LG's own V50, the V50 is better. Unless you go
said
into
the
manual mode, and start tweaking around. I think a lot of people who are reviewing the V60 are reviewing it the way you're supposed to, which is a manual mode. I'm sure in manual mode you get really great stuff.
I mean,
But if you
Grant,
just
when
want
you
to point and shoot,
did
going to the high
straight up-
megapixel sensor, it's not it.
when you did the straight up comparison, the 50 was better almost across the board.
Well, I mean that's in
That's
full auto, right? And that's not what LG is playing up on the V series, but they're selling it in carrier stores. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who, for some reason, get it because maybe they got a good deal, or probably just going to shoot it in auto. So
No, that's really interesting because that makes a good point too. As far as computational photography, and maybe Google still hasn't just nailed down that kind of AI for I guess the better sensors or whatever, which is
I
kind
know
of
what you mean.
well, but that's scary though, because then why would I buy a Pixel 5
Exactly.
if the camera's just going to be like the 4 and the 3?
Well,
Like,
maybe
I
they
don't-
got it. Maybe they got it. I think that's why it's interesting to find out, right? But Google's kind of played it safe for years because they're good at what they're doing, at least on the still photo imaging, right?
Until iPhone caught up and passed them.
Remember, guys,
Okay.
hardware is hard. Okay, that's what.
I
I
guess.
still like my
CEO
Pixel for still
Google.
images over my iPhone. So
I think
sorry.
but it would be really, really difficult.
I don't
iPhone, I'll just pull an iPhone if I really want to shoot some video.
Yeah, me too.
yeah. I,
iPhone does it. For
so
video.
anytime I have to like film myself
But
for
Grant,
my
what do
other
you like,
channel, it's always the
colors?
iPhone.
On the iPhone
You
for
prefer the
video?
colors of the Pixel?
No, he's
Oh,
at
the
yeah.
Pixel?
He's
Yeah,
asking,
I
yeah.
like the color science. I like the processing, right? So Pixel's always going to be a little bit cooler, but because of that, it's a little bit darker, right? And then and more contrasty, which is not for everyone. I think I get why people like iPhone because it's brighter, it's warmer, it's probably more universally pleasing. But
And you're right.
I like the detail, the contrast, and the color science in the Pixel.
Yes, now Samsung thinks people like punchy, so Samsung always makes it punchy. Well, TCL did the same thing, I noticed.
That's why I don't think anyone's going to like the Sony, because the Sony's not going to be like really crazy punchy and do crazy things with their photo.
Right.
They're just going to try to take a really nice, crisp, sharp photo.
So more for a purist like you, yes?
I don't know if I'm a purist. I like a nice looking photo. I like Pixel's HDR processing sometimes. But, you know, I think consistency, and from a point and shoot, I think iPhone and Pixel are really good from a consistency standpoint. Is point and shoot, get a good picture. But I like the results from the Pixel more often than not. I wish they had variable night mode though, right? So if you could actually adjust the amount of night mode you want applied, like the iPhone, like the V series from LG, and
that's the thing that gets me, and that's the one thing I pointed out was the night mode sometimes on the Pixel 4 is just too much. Like it gets sometimes that saturation is just way more than like I was looking for, and I feel like
Is there Jerome? Is there a manual mode? Is there a way you can dial it back?
no. That's the issue. And so like, but for some reason on the iPhone 11 Pro, it automatically picks how long that night mode is lasting for. That's why if you ever on the 11 or
On the
11
iPhone,
Pro,
though, you can change it.
you can change it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can change it, but usually more times than not, the timing on it is pretty good. It'll say 1 second or 2 seconds or 3, and like I never really messed with that at that point. The only time I ever turned it off is when I'm actually just doing camera comparison tests just to see what it looks like.
The only time I mess with it is when I did a video specifically trying to show that.
Yeah, for sure.
Pixel had Jerome disappearing.
Whatever.
That was crazy.
Yeah, no, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, when I was trying to take shots at night with myself in it, it just kept thinking it was astrophotography mode, and so it would mess it up. And then I was never able to really properly take a shot of myself at night using night sight. I don't know. I'm still hoping that the Pixel 5 is going to have something that that we're not. Will's laughing. The Pixel 5 might come out, swinging. Maybe
It's gonna have a high price. That's what you.
Yeah, for me, if I get the door, then I'm going to have to choose between the Pixel 5 and the iPhone 12 because I'm sure not going to get both of them at the same time. You can count on that.
Just sell the S20 and then get the Pixel 5. And
Ask me the last time I sold the phone, Jerome.
oh, okay, fair enough.
Mike, can we bet again, Mike?
Years.
Can we bet this year I won't buy a Pixel?
Mike, you going to bet him again?
I still haven't cashed in my
No.
other cheeseburger or whatever I want.
No, I know.
No,
I'm-
I think this time Will means it when he's not going to buy another Pixel.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
I'm
No,
not
I
doing
don't
it
think
again.
I believe him too.
Yeah.
It's all messed up. The whole thing, everything's messed up.
The
right now.
will
There's no
we
chance.
have, we could count on him saying it and not doing it,
Nah.
Well, I don't know. Mike, did you have anything else? Because I don't really have much else going on. Like
I was just the WWDC, if I'm saying that right.
that's correct.
I didn't see the whole thing, but what I have seen and what I've heard, I've been, and I said it last week, I think, and I'll say it again, and I mentioned it to Will. Android's in trouble. That's all I got to say. I think a lot of people.
Will likes iOS 14. I am loving iOS 14. So.
That's a pretty big statement to say that Android's in trouble.
Yeah, that is a big statement. But you do.
I don't think it's in trouble. Like they're going to go out of business or people aren't.
No,
I think people are going to be more.
Let me clarify. North America. Okay, I think anybody was on the fence now, and or the Windows diehard fans, because you see a lot of comments immediately. Yeah. I never had a Windows phone, and when I started seeing those tiles and stuff going around, I'm like, oh, that's Windows.
Well, we did say in the beginning that it would be easy for people to go from Android to iOS now. You know.
So
I don't really think it's about being easy, George. I just think that they're going to say, I'm not missing as much as I was missing 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So
it's more like Android than it used to. That's for sure. A lot more.
I think they're just going to be like, well, I'll try it now. I'll be willing to try it. Like I told you, my nephew never owned an iPhone, iPod, iPad, nothing. And he has a OnePlus 7 Pro. And he was like, well, now I might as well get an iPhone.
You mean after WWDC?
Yeah, he was like, there's no reason for me not to try it now. He was like,
and I agree.
He can put the widgets on the screen. He can hide his.
I'm about to get that developer beta or whatever.
And they made it.
I haven't had no problems with it. I know people who even put it on their watch.
Everything is easy to turn on and off. I find it's easy so far.
I haven't had no problems. I know people who put it on their watch. I'm not putting it on my watch because you got to give it to Apple if it messes up. So with the thing, I just backed up to 13, turned off auto backup, and then put 14. So if something happens, I can go back to my latest one.
Right.
I mean, you guys were talking about cameras, and again, I know Grant mentioned about when he wants to shoot a video, and I can't help talking. And Will and I talked about it over the week. I took out my SE and shot some video of the guys getting on the roof and getting ready to work on the roof. And I posted on Twitter, and somebody asked me, "Is that 4K?" And I forget what setting I left it at. So I went into settings. It was 1080p at 60.
Right.
God damn! Was that thing looking 4K to me?
Yeah, I mean, the video looked great.
And between that and does the SE take great shots at night? I guess not. I never tried it out. I'm fortunate to have a Pixel, so I guess I would probably be drawn to pull that out.
And that's where I'm hoping the Nord will beat out the SE, at least taking night photos.
I don't think the Nord is going to. I don't think so.
You're hoping the Pixel 5 will kill it. I'm hoping the
Nord. Fair enough. But we know OnePlus's track record when it comes to the cameras, and I just don't know. Just don't know.
What happened to the Microsoft phone? Is it still coming out, that flip phone?
I think they put that on hold, didn't they? Just because of
no, they were initially going to push it back to like January or something because of the Corona thing, but it's still coming as far as I know.
They said it doesn't have NFC.
You guys saw today, right? There was all those reports that Microsoft closed all their physical stores.
Yes.
And it was funny because as I was talking about that on my stream this afternoon, I was like, yeah, is anyone even going to notice that they're closing their physical stores?
Didn't they have a couple of places that they're keeping open, but they're not called stores?
3 places. Their flagship in New York, and then I think one in London, and I can't remember Seattle. But
I didn't even know Microsoft had stores.
I don't even remember the last time I really walked into a Microsoft store and said, "Hey, I'm actually genuinely interested in walking in here and see what's in here." Because to be fair, like even though I know I'm not buying an Apple product, I'll still walk into an Apple store.
I was going to say,
how do you check stuff out?
Yeah,
I don't know.
As much as an Android guy as I am, if I'm going into a store, it's going to be an Apple store. You can count on it.
Yeah,
people go to Microsoft stores to play Xbox.
There you go.
And I feel that makes sense.
They don't got Rocket League, so Jerome.
If you want to go check out Samsung phones,
and you probably have a lot more of them out there in California than we have anyplace else, is my guess.
Yeah, we got a few Microsoft stores here.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like I don't know. I
It used to be
wasn't
cool when they had Windows phones. You could go into the store and check them out. Now
There
you
you
can go check out the. I can go check out the latest Samsung phone in the Microsoft
There you
store.
go. I still have I've never had the pleasure of using a Windows phone.
Yeah, me
Never
neither.
had one. Never
Me
had
neither.
one. I always thought the design was really nice, but now I guess I can use iOS 14.
And it's
so.
funny, the guy who I used to work with at Blue Cross, he builds computers on the side for a living. He built my last 5, including the one that I'm on right now. He loved Windows Phone, and he was so hurt when they stopped.
Yeah, no, I think that sentiment is pretty similar for other people who have owned that phone. I see Saturday Night Tech Fights in here. What's good, people? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you.
What do y'all think of Apple going with their own stuff for their computers?
I think
Oh, that's
probably
gonna
a
be-
good idea. I always think it's a good idea for a company to go with their own stuff. And Apple's going to do it right, otherwise they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that'll be my next MacBook Pro will be one of those then. Whenever that happens. I mean, not anytime soon, but I'll probably use one of their chipsets and see how good it is.
And yeah, then $1,600 won't seem so expensive.
Yeah,
to
but
you.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I just want to see the price.
Jerome, you're only going to get one port to plug in a peripheral. Okay.
No, I could. Yeah, I'll have to buy that extension.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's only gonna be. Yeah, I think I got two ports. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want
So-
to see the price of that thing because I want to see all the tweets and videos of the configuring the highest spec MacBook
my
with that thing. In
God.
it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Obligatory.
Yeah.
Here's what the Mac spec out thing would cost.
60,000,
billion
70,000.
Then you got to get the wheels, right?
Yeah, I was
The
just going
wheels
to
on
say,
the
heck, you got
laptop.
$600 wheels, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, I just wanted to say something. You were getting back, and I'm probably repeating a comment Grant had on his stream is another reason I feel strongly that Android here in the North American market again is in trouble because with the new iOS, the new iPad OS that's out, the watch is. I didn't get into the watch.
Watch still had a lot of
the-
cool features on it too. I thought.
Yeah, and the AirPods with the feature switching between devices without
And you get the spatial
Right.
audio on the AirPods Pros
Right.
too.
right. So
Yeah.
it's really going to be a tough sell to say hey to maybe somebody who's just dipped their toes into Apple and experiencing it, and then Android finally gets their together and makes their own chipset, let's say, and
Right.
cleans up their some of their problems. This is I mentioned to Will, I said I was in contact with everybody who worked the company who did the roof on my house. Everyone was a blue bubble. I gave him my iPhone number,
Really?
and everyone was a blue bubble.
That's so interesting. I mean,
Yeah. So they use iPads. All the sales guy had an iPad. I did Zoom. I took pictures. I sent them by using my iPad. It was like it was something.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Now, when I give people my phone number, I give them the number for my iPhone, just so it's like I can make
They're
sure
like, he's
if they're a blue
professional.
bubble. Yeah,
Yeah, Jerome,
that's such a weird thing. I can't believe I just
you-
admitted that either.
They're like,
I don't
yeah,
give them my
my
Pixel
wife's
number.
side of the family. I gave more members to the family. I told them, I said, here's a second number. Use this one because it's on the iPhone. And guess what? They're all touching base with me on that iPhone line. So,
No, that's
but
weird.
anyway, with the OS and a $399 brand new phone, granted it ain't the biggest, but it takes nice pictures and it takes really sharp video. What do we have to contend with here? What do we have? Well, we got Dex. Who's going to use Dex? Who's going to,
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
know,
say, what's Dex
the
again?
general public don't. Huh? I'm sorry.
No, I was just kidding. I was like, what's Dex again?
He's agreeing with
Yeah,
you. Nobody
exactly.
uses that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And try and get somebody to use Android messaging to get their own version of Blue Bubble. Yeah, have fun with that
We-
one.
Yeah,
Okay?
nobody even knows what it is.
Right.
But
You know.
it's like Grant said in the beginning. Apple, it's like they Google doesn't communicate
No,
within their own
that's
within
true.
their own thing. Apple when they started, they locked everybody in, and once you get into their ecosystem or whatever, you it's like you know what I mean. You get used to it, you get comfortable, and you enjoy it. All the Android OEMs are trying to do the same thing. It's just that Android is open. So if Samsung could get everybody using Samsung computers, a Samsung phone, a Samsung earbuds, and the watch,
and that works.
they would do it.
That
but
works.
but Samsung,
That
you
does
always
work.
have a way out of it. You know what I mean? You can always be like, oh, I don't like this phone, and go buy a Pixel or go buy an LG, and you won't miss nothing. You can go right
What's
back
an
into
LG?
the you can go right back into the ecosystem. With Apple, it's not that easy to leave. So once you start buying it, you stay.
When did
Android-
iMessage become a thing? How long ago was that?
2011,
2011. What iPhone version was that? 4?
I think the 4,
4.
the
Mhm.
4 or the 4S.
That's a long
Because
time.
that was the last one that I had bought before I
Oh.
went to Android.
Yeah.
First, I went to, I don't even know what that was. I guess it was Windows. It was terrible, but I liked it because it had the sliding keyboard. You could slide it either way, but
I don't know.
yeah.
There was a bunch of phones that had keyboards you could.
That's- Nah, it was a Pantech Duo. That's how long Android has been in the terrible SMS. That's how long they were stuck there, like getting multiple messages. I sent it to you in the Telegram. Did you see it? He sent the who, I forget who it was. They sent me a message and it repeated like
yes.
7 times.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
why.
God.
That's why nobody wants them in the iMessage chat. Nobody wants to deal with
Yeah,
that.
I had to have a friend of mine download Telegram today because I was trying to send him a video. I bought a jump rope because I'm trying to do
Yeah, I saw
something
that.
different for car. Yeah, and so I wanted to give him a video of me doing it because I wanted some tips on it or whatever. But he uses Hangouts. I'm like, listen, I know you don't want to switch, but please just download it for me because I am not going to be seeing you at any time. And I'm like, I didn't want to go in my I didn't want to come in here and upload it to YouTube. I'm just like, let me just send it to you on Telegram.
Have you used the jump rope before?
So I have used the jump rope like when I was a kid.
Okay,
I haven't used one in a-
really worked you out. I
So
guess.
yeah, no. Oh my God, I was using the jump rope for like 2 minutes and I was already like
Yeah, ain't
breathing
no
so
joke.
heavy.
But it does.
But yeah, my
Did you get a
buddy was
weighted
trying
one?
to help me. What's that?
Did you get a weighted one?
No, just a regular jump
just a
rope.
regular.
I just need to start somewhere and then figure out how that works. But yeah, I mean, I had to get him off of Hangouts because I'm like, I can't send you this video. You can't see my form or how I'm doing it or what I need to do unless I give you a video. So please download Telegram. He's like, fine. But maybe
He's on
that'll get him to
Android.
stick to it.
He's
So
on
once,
Android.
once he did he like it?
Well, he didn't. So he didn't say. I don't like to push that because when I do that, then I feel like I'm forcing them to say yes, I like it or whatever. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, here you go.
Let him use it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
use it and whatever, and then we'll see if you eventually are like, hey, I can actually reply
There you
to
go.
actual conversations, so
He's
I
on-
don't lose
he's
the
on,
context of it.
He's on Android.
Yeah, he has a OnePlus. He has a OnePlus 5.
See, Jerome,
OnePlus
you gotta
5.
get the beta so we can do inline replies.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
well,
that
no, he
Groups
doesn't
is
have an
basically a
iPhone.
replacement for Telegram.
Yeah.
What
I-
happened?
That groups and messaging is basically group chat. It's just like another replacement for
Oh
Telegram.
yeah. They're like
If you're
coming
all on
after Telegram
iOS,
and
just
everybody.
use that. You don't need
Yeah.
It's pretty popular. That's why. Look at
Yeah,
that.
I forgot about
Jerome, you
that.
made it
They
to
added
10
groups. They added groups and mentions. You can mention people's name now in the message,
Yeah, it's
and
funny
they
when
get
I
notified with the mention. Yeah.
When I
That's
watched
the
that-
only time they get notified.
when I watched that WWDC, I was like, Telegram can do all this. Well, not it still can't. Telegram needs to update the reaction stuff. You can't react yet to
Yeah.
messages, which is the most annoying thing, I think, because that's such an easy thing to have. There is this one. It's funny. There's this one client I work with. Like I do video production for this client, and every time I try to. That client has iMessage, and every time I say like, "Hey, do you want it like this or like that?" and then the client always uses the thumbs down thing. I get so like, I'm just like, wait, don't like. I feel offended when you say that. It's like I thought you liked that. Why are you thumbsing? No, but I mean, it's just a different way of communicating. So I don't know.
I forgot about the group thing. How is that? Oh, you can name the group. You can name it. I forgot about it.
So anyway, guys, I think we're rounding this out here. I do appreciate everybody that stuck around for this long of a stream. It's a very long stream today. I know I only had content for the first hour, but I think we were able to really just have that
And your
conversation.
timing is good because they're starting to shoot off fireworks outside. I can hear it.
Yeah, it's fireworks are everywhere lately. Everywhere. Like I feel like it's in my backyard sometimes. It just sounds like it's coming right next door. So, okay, guys. Any last words, guys, for anything?
All right, next week it's either going to be my channel or
There you go.
Ted's channel. I'll let you folks know.
Okay, perfect. And then
Picture is good too on the iPhone,
Oh,
but
I
they
was
don't
gonna
got it on
ask about
YouTube
that.
yet. They don't have it on
I
YouTube.
haven't even
yet.
tried it yet.
It's on Netflix, but YouTube doesn't support it yet. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's right. Yeah, that's because it's on Netflix and I don't do Netflix.
And
That's
finally, you
interesting.
get 4K video on YouTube.
I saw that. I did see
Yeah.
that.
Cool.
Okay. Did you guys want to give any shout outs to your channels and stuff? I mean, I want to, just know. Are you guys okay?
No, I'm good.
Everybody knows who I am. So.
But please, yes, for anyone who's in here who is not familiar with anyone in here, check them out. Grant and George, they post regularly. Mike
Yeah,
used
that's
to,
not really Mike. That's the Joker. He's just fooling you.
and Will just
Yeah.
likes to come in here
Wait,
with
wait,
the
wait, wait.
commentary.
Yeah, I
so-
just like to hang out with y'all on Fridays.
Yeah.
You're not talking to a baby, you know.
I don't. Surprise! Okay, here we go. Hold on.
All right,
You made it
guys.
through- and you made it through a whole tech stream without talking about the Note 20. It's an accomplishment.
Thanks, Ellie.
The what?
Oh, there you go.
I forgot about the Note.
I don't.
What's
even,
new
I-
about
Note
it?
20.
What
What?
are
I
they
just see
doing with it
constantly
this
stuff
year?
about the Note 20. So I'm like,
Are they doing anything
kudos
good?
to you guys for not talking about
That
that.
phone doesn't really excite me, to be honest with you. It's supposed to have an A65
There's
plus.
so much news and rumors about it. Just all I see is Note 20. And then,
Yeah.
oh, and the LG Velvet, since I guess all the
Well,
reviewers got it.
There's
so.
a couple of sites, of channels that constantly talk about the Note 20, and I'm not feeling it.
Maybe
at all.
because they know that's what's getting the views or whatever at the moment.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't
so.
know.
Maybe
It doesn't really excite me because I think when I did talk about it, I'm like, why would you the S20 Ultra, this seems very similar, so I don't know. Anyway. All right, everybody. Again, thank you so
Hey, Jerome,
much.
real quick.
Yeah.
Jerome, let me know if you get demonetized on this vid on this.
I'll let you know. Actually, so what's happening for me on YouTube is every single stream I do, they demonetize it automatically, and I have to request a review for every single one now, which is very annoying.
Is this because you're talking politics or something, or
No,
what?
I have no idea. But this entire week, I made it a point to not swear or curse, and I did once or twice, but it wasn't like the big words. So they were able to reverse it, and now they monetize it. But it really doesn't matter because I don't think many people are watching a 2 or 3 day old stream. But that's fine. I just, it is what it is. So anyway. Again, everybody, thank you so much for sticking around and hanging by. Feel free to check all these other guys' channels out as well. They're all great people.
Good folks.
I can't really say any nicer words about them, but I mean, I can say nice words about them all day, but you guys know what I mean. Feel free to check them out. Guys, real quick, I will be playing an outro. It's only a minute long, so if you guys wanted to hang around, you can. If not, you guys can feel free to. But usually, Grant, I'm just FYI, we usually chat for a little bit after the stream, but you don't have to. I'm just FYI. So,
All
okay,
right.
I'm done
Debrief.
talking. Here comes the outro. Later, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.